show my friend Slugs and upset him a lot.
It's really all his videos are.
There was a
upsetting.
guy wearing the Slugs jacket on the tube as well.
Nice.
So
okay.
sometimes I think I should wear it. You know, you guys will put a lot of time with the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a lot of research. You
It's
got,
exhausting.
It's killer. You know, like I mean, like I think people don't understand how tough it is to be a podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, minimum wage, you know, it's choking us.
Yeah.
Minimum wage. I said we have the lowest possible wage.
No, you've
Zero
got,
pounds.
You've got all those employees.
That's true.
Really.
In the sweatshop.
Those guys you pay to do research for you.
I've had to increase Aran's gruel allowance. 12 barley corns a week.
So, you know, I got an idea, right?
Yeah.
You know, and we can trick them because we can do a little bit of a entryism here.
Oh, a soft pivot.
Soft pivot.
I'm listening.
And just talk about films, man. You literally just sit there and watch them.
That's crazy. Nobody's had the idea to make a podcast where you review movies before.
I don't think it's been done, right?
I guess it just seems like such a low-hanging fruit. Like,
Yeah.
most people would just watch the movie and have their own thoughts about it.
Yeah. No, these dum-dums want to be told what to think.
Yes.
You gotta be a thought leader. And you don't even need to have your own thoughts. I've just been watching Red Letter Media reviews and regurgitating their opinions for years. So what we'll do is we'll watch some movies and we'll talk about them.
It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
But just remember, the conversation that we just had, completely intramorales, we can never ever tell anybody about
It's
it.
off the record.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry.
Because
The
if
mic
this
isn't
made
even
it,
on.
yeah, if this made it into the podcast, we'd be ruined.
I think if you say off the record, they can't publish it.
Off the record.
Off the record. But we got to do one trick.
Yeah.
They got to be medieval movies.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Which I don't think there's many of them, right?
I think there's exactly 5.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about them.
All right, and I've got them all here on floppy disks.
Yeah. My uncle.
Floppy disk.
I've got them all on floppy disks. It's been written on marker pen what they are. But he's misspelt some of the names.
The Northman.
The Green Knight, but it's not like knight. This is
This is a joke that doesn't work in audio.
Anyway, I'll load up the
A
old...
Knight's Tale. Tail.
Oh, that's that Robin Hood film, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
The furry Robin Hood. That could be a future episode, actually. The furry Robin Hood movie.
Yeah, this is just ideas now, isn't it? It's just vamping.
No, we can't do furry Robin Hood.
We can do furry Robin Hood.
No, because no one's gonna be no one's sexually attracted to the fox.
Or the Lady Fox.
No one's sexually attracted to either of the foxes, so no one would want to hear about that movie.
Whereas we've watched 5 films where everyone's incredibly sexually attractive. there's no unpleasant men in any of them.
Alright, stop vamping.
Okay, put the sword down.
Put the sword. I'm starting up. I'm loading.
Okay, give me the sword.
No,
No,
I can be trusted.
No, you cannot.
Not be trusted. Put the sword down. I've paid actors to reenact like a passion play of these 5 films to get the proper medieval experience.
I'm gonna put the sword down.
You know, I'm starting up the old film reel projector. I'm carrying all this incredibly flammable film.
Alright.
I'm lighting a cigarette.
I'm smoking.
We've lost the joke. We have to just
I'm fueling up this diesel engine that the film projector runs on.
Exactly. Me and my mates are spraying each other with fuel for fun.
The feast is o'er. Now brimming wine in lordly cup is seen to shine before each eager guest. And silence fills the crowded hall, as deep as when the herald's call thrills in the loyal breast.
Welcome back to the Weird Medieval Guys podcast. I'm Olivia, and this is Aran, my best boy.
Aww.
I want to be best boy. I was
And this is Joe.
The gaffer.
The gaffer.
Why not worst boy?
Yeah, take that again.
And this is Joe, the worst boy. Yeah, get Joe. We don't need you here, boy.
What?
She's
You're
become
the worst
country.
boy.
That really made me panic.
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about and reviewing 5 movies about the Middle Ages. They are not really on a theme.
Yeah.
They're just the ones that we have the most opinions about.
And those films are, which order are we doing them in? I'm going to decide right now. Braveheart, The Northman,
Full
The
film.
Green Knight, The Kingdom of Heaven, and A Knight's Tale.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
There's some bangers in there.
Yeah.
And
Some
some
bangers, some flops.
Before we get, because I feel like this is going to be, half of the episode is going to be just talking about Braveheart.
I was going to scream freedom.
Freedom!
Freedom!
You can take my virgins. You can never take my baby.
My baby!
My baby.
So, Braveheart, released in 1995.
Yes.
Starring, directed by Mel Gibson. It is
Normal man.
normal, regular guy, then and now. Mel Gibson. It tells the story of William Wallace, the Scottish nobleman that will come up, who rebelled against English rule at the end of the 13th century. It is also not my favorite movie, but it won Best Picture of 1990. This was the best movie of 1995.
Shockingly high acclaim. Let me tell you, that's very upsetting. Because it's awful. Evil film.
It is spiritually cursed.
Yeah.
So, here is a question that I want to start us off with. What is the most iconic line from this movie is either "They will take our lives, but they will never take our freedom," and "freedom." So here is my question to you: what is this movie's concept of freedom?
It's your dad letting you stay out late.
It's your dad letting you stay out late and
Not being English.
not being English and not letting the English have sex with your wife.
Yeah.
Because I had completely forgotten about the fact that this movie... So this movie starts, right, in the nebulous late 13th century, and there's an opening monologue that I have written down pieces of because I think it's so fascinating. So at the start, in the opening monologue, the narrator, who we later find out I think is Robert the Bruce, says that he calls King Edward I of England the pagan King Edward I. What? This is your first clue that this movie's going to be strange.
You do get a lot of beautiful sweeping shots of West Scotland,
Yes. Which is not, aka the part of Scotland that William Wallace was not from. He's from, William Wallace was from, Greater Glasgow.
though. He's from Ayrshire.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
Does explain a lot.
And so Robert Bruce in the opening narration says, "Historians from England will say that I am a liar." And this is their way of, hand-waving the fact that the movie is not historically accurate. But I had the very strong reaction when I heard that. No. Don't you try and make me complicit in this. You're not speaking for me. This is not the movie's thesis is, well, of course, goes against everything that we know about this period, but that's because we're trying to capture the authentic, real Scottish story, which has been written for an American film studio and filmed in Ireland for tax purposes.
By an Australian.
Starring an Australian whose views are...
Normal.
And so after the opening monologue, we're introduced to how Scottish people in the 13th century lived, according to this movie. And this is where I have my first note about the movie, which is this is describing the house that William Wallace, William Wallace, the real guy, he was a knight, right? He was not a very high-ranking nobleman, but he was a knight.
He's a member of the gentry type fella.
And so here is my note about William Wallace's home. I hate his dumpy little hut.
He's a bogman who lives in a house made of shit.
So all the houses that we see, all the Scottish houses that we see in this movie, they are vastly technologically and structurally inferior to basically every single reconstruction of actual Scottish Iron Age dwellings. Go to the Scottish Crannog Centre. People were living on stilts. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and here they live in horrible little muddy huts.
It's literally just...
And they're all covered in dirt all
They're
the
all
time.
dirt.
But they live in lean-tos. They live in impromptu shelters.
Yes! The house doesn't even look... It looks like it's falling
They
over.
don't even have 4 walls.
No.
It's insane.
Actually, that's why they call him William Wallace.
Wall less! Because he's got no walls.
But no, I mean, there's obviously so much to unpack with this movie and its portrayal of Scotland, especially in contrast with England. So I think, yeah, should we get our foot in the door by talking about the aesthetics of this movie?
Yeah, let's talk production design.
Yes, because it did win, what was it, best, like, costume or something. Best costume design as well, didn't it?
So this is the one Oscar that it won that I kind of do, in a weird way, I do kind of respect, because the costume design is very intentional, and it's very good at conveying the point that it's making, which is that everyone in Scotland is a disgusting peasant who lives in shit.
is a fucking filthy bog man.
And everyone in England is a sort of effete,
Foppish.
yeah, and homosexual.
Because they might live in a dirty mud hut, but that makes them honest, and honourable. Supposed to
and manly.
The perfidious Englishman and his four walls.
Yeah, because we have this, this whole premise basically, because it becomes impossible, I think, to see the Scottish as anything but victims, because they clearly live in this state of just perpetual, like, poverty and, like, horrible suffering, and there's not really any, like, indication given of, like, oh, the English are causing this. There's kind of a, like, you know, we don't like the English, and, like, we're not, in some generic sense, we're not free.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, they just seem like they don't have, like, good tradespeople up there, to be honest. But because everyone just looks like complete shit and their house looks like complete
Even
shit.
the nobles, like, live in a big clamshell.
No, exactly. They live in an empty refrigerator box.
The English stole all our plumb bobs. Now all our walls
Exactly.
are wonky.
And so it's like, it does do a really good job of establishing right off the bat who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. Because when you see William Wallace living in shit and then a guy comes up with, like, no holes in his coat, it's like, of course.
And he looks like he's had a shave in the past
Can we
10
talk
years.
Like,
about
how could this level of wealth be afforded?
How can we
in such
talk
a
about the
cruel
pigtails?
land?
Can we talk about the pigtails?
He does have
Please.
wee pigtails.
No,
as
he
a
doesn't
child.
have pigtails. Everybody
Everyone
has
has
pigtails.
pigtails.
All
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Scottish people has the Padawan braid.
Well, yeah, of course, all of the Scottish
5 years
people have
before.
really long hair that they don't comb. Everyone is just smeared in
They have
brine.
long unkempt hair, but again, they have one single pigtail in the midst of that.
Oh yeah, well, but sometimes they
Because
do
they're
have,
also Native Americans.
Sometimes they do have two braids, also
Yeah.
in a kind of Native American-esque style.
Cod Native American, we should say. This is
Yeah.
not an authentic representation of indigenous people in the Americas.
No,
but,
exactly.
But they are trying to draw the comparison in
Yes,
the film.
in a thunderously obvious way. So William Wallace, to return briefly to the plot, William Wallace is a kid. He sees that his family have been murdered, and then Brian Cox arrives.
Murdered by whom?
The English.
The English.
His dad has the great line of, "What the real thing that makes a man is his wits," and then rides off and dies immediately.
It truly is up there with the Duke Leto Atreides. The first way to avoid a trap is knowing it's there, and then he just walks into the trap.
Walks into the trap and gets owned. Because that's like William Wallace's thing. Is he's smart. He's a thinker.
Yes. So he gets taken away by Brian Cox, his uncle, who does not appear subsequently in the film.
They also... Sorry, this is really random, but they bury his dad in the shallowest grave possible because they clearly can't afford shovels, and they just do it like at night
By
in the
hand.
woods with no one else there. In fact, they just pile stones on him.
Yeah.
But very importantly, it is a Christian burial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because despite all their cod Iron Age living, a very important thing about the Scottish is they fucking love Jesus.
Yes. Yes. Do not forget that. That will become important later. So William Wallace, he goes away with his uncle, and then he comes back later as
Time skip.
time skip, which in the movie nobody else ages, but this boy turns into a 45-year-old now.
He has the worst 20 years of his life.
The worst 5 years of his life.
He spent the entire time they just pinned him to a rock, or in a desert somewhere.
Yeah.
The
Let him
English have,
crinkle.
like, used him for, like, experimental growth hormone programs. Oh, and I forgot, they also say that the English won't let them train with weapons.
Yes, I noted that too.
They're taking our not guns away from us.
Yeah, because I think that, like, there is to return to the production design, there is, like, a real smashing together of different eras of Scottish history to create this sort of, like, weird unified aesthetic. So the obvious thing is, we've talked about it, everybody dresses like and lives like it's the Iron Age, but also there's a lot of stuff about how the Scots are treated by the English that is drawing on much later.
They're banning bagpipes,
which is just something that happens in like the 18th century, following the Jacobite revolts. They are also, like, dressed in plaid, which is not something Scottish people would have worn in the 13th century. And, of course, William Wallace famously, at the Battle of Stirling, not Stirling Bridge, the Battle of Stirling, he rides around wearing blue face paint, something that allegedly the Picts did 500 years previously.
He's got the classic Woad Warrior look.
Yeah.
Mad Max Woad Warrior!
That was... What's on purpose? Why does this keep happening to me?
Wild Will Wood Warrior.
That's one alternate title for the movie. My other one is Murder Jesus.
Murder Jesus.
Because what happens is, the inciting incident of the movie is, and I had to kind of, like, trace back my steps because it is slightly convoluted, but Edward I has conquered Scotland.
He's the King of England.
He's the King of England, and he's been running Scotland for an indeterminate amount of time, and none of his noblemen are moving up to Scotland. So in order to entice them to move up to Scotland, he institutes the right of prima nocte, a thing that never existed in Scotland or possibly ever. But
it never existed ever anywhere.
It's never been attested. It was probably the Victorians that made it up because they're weird about sex. But prima nocte was the idea that after a woman gets married, her lord is allowed to have sex with her.
Yeah, and this is Patrick McGowan, who gives a pretty good performance.
Yeah, he
as
does.
like a very hammy sort of Shakespearean Longshanks.
Yeah.
He's stalking about, looming over people. It's compelling, you know.
Being
like
disappointed in his homosexual son.
As much as I hate this, yeah, because also importantly, Edward II is displayed here as like an offensive stereotype of a gay man.
Truly, it is the 90s.
He's effete. He has like a twink who follows him around who has his midriff out.
Yes, and he and his midriff boyfriend both have Zoomer haircuts. They are bussing for real. Yeah. And by the way, when we say that he's homosexual, I'm not saying that in the sense of like he's effete or effeminate as in as like a pejorative sense. I mean that specifically in the sense that he is portrayed as explicitly gay. There are also there are contemporary allegations about Edward II that he was gay, but also that is just a very common thing that you would throw at people who are weak leaders at the time. Anyway,
so yeah, I mean it is like a bit convoluted, but basically Longshanks and his gay son are trying to let the English nobles have sex with the Scottish lassies, which does seem to be the inciting incident. I mean, then they try to do this to William Wallace's wifey, and it's, it doesn't go down well, but she gets murdered.
Yes.
Yeah, he has an uncompelling romance.
Yeah.
They get Christian married in a wood.
And then they consummate the marriage by standing straight up 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
But facing in the same
direction, looking at each other, and then they sort of...
not looking at each other.
Oh my god, yeah, sorry.
She's looking away from him and he's standing behind her.
So he sort of appears out of frame.
It's really weird. And so he walks up to her, embraces her, and then we soft focus, fade to black, and we can infer. But this is... The movie's already been... It's 15 minutes in, the movie's already been incredibly weird about sex.
Yeah. So after this like incredibly workman-like setup, luckily wife dies, so the man
gets fridged.
She gets fridged pretty much immediately. So now he can kill anyone he wants.
Yes,
yeah.
It's just he can go off the chain. He goes the dream.
He kills the local civil servant.
Yeah, in the only good fight scene of the film.
Yes, this is another theme that I think will come out as we sort of summarize the movie. Is the action scenes are widely like regarded as very good. I would say that The battle scenes are impressive because there's a lot of people on screen, and they look expensive, and this is a pre-Lord of the Rings movie. Like, you cannot simulate large armies.
They got like 200 guys.
Yeah, and that is really impressive. But the problem is that the action scenes are not very interesting.
They all take place on the default Windows.
They take place in the
home
big
screen.
field, that big field from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
In another weird parallel, and William Wallace does not really in these battles face anybody who is a particular challenge to him or anybody who he has a particular personal relationship with. The action is just they fight for a bit and then the battle's over.
Sorry, Aran, can we just finish the synopsis?
Yes.
This is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's just finish the synopsis.
I'm getting too mad at the premises.
So basically, it's all a bit convoluted. Let's just I'll finish the synopsis, and then we'll talk about it.
I could reel it off real quick.
Okay.
Wife dies. He kills guy who kills wife. Longshanks is like, damn, I hate that dude. Send some guys to kill him. He runs around the countryside loads, killing Englishmen. Then some nobles turn up. They win the Battle of Stirling Bridge, Sands Bridge. And then I can't keep track. It's so
And then the movie
he
becomes confusing.
And then he said, "No, let's just synopsis."
Synopsis.
Just synopsis. Then he seduces Edward II, the gay prince's wife.
Yeah.
French wife.
Yeah, so he
Isabella
gets
of
one.
France.
He gets one back. He's like, "How you like it when we do it to your wives?" And he eventually gets captured. Longshanks is dying.
Battle of
Edward
Falkirk
I
happens.
is dying. Yeah, they have some victories. The Scottish have some victories. They have some less victorious moments, such as when William Wallace gets captured.
He then runs away into the woods and becomes like the Punisher for a bit.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just kills Scottish noblemen who betrayed him for a
Yeah.
short period.
Exactly. He rides a horse through it.
Out of the window.
Like the Kool-Aid
Out of
Man.
the third
Well, he rides it into the house and then out of the window.
Oh no, he rides it
Into
into a man's dream
Yeah.
first.
Okay,
Into a man's
I know
guilty
we're
conscience.
synopsizing this, but we need to take a quick sojourn in this scene. So a man who betrayed William Wallace is having a dream, and William Wallace,
One of the perfidious Scottish noblemen.
he's having a dream in his house, and he's like, "Whoa, William Wallace is here in my dream." And then he wakes up, and William Wallace is there riding a horse in his house,
Kicks his door open with the horse.
and he's got a ball and chain.
He's got his iconic ball and chain as depicted in the famous statue.
Yeah.
And he kills it with the ball and chain, and then he rides the horse out of the third-story window. And then there's a really long shot of the two of them just falling.
Into a canal.
And then the scene just ends.
Yep. No, it's great. But anyways, eventually they capture William Wallace's ass. They sentence his ass to death. And Longshanks is also simultaneously dying. And so we have this great scene where, like, William Wallace is, he's getting hanged, drawn, quartered, dismembered, disemboweled.
They're rearranging his guts.
Yes, they're chopping his dick off. They're racking him.
And he's doing a great acting because he's refusing to scream. So you just have Mel Gibson going cross-eyed on the cross.
And going,
Oh yeah, sorry. They were also put him on a cross.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we also
Because he's murder Jesus.
and so he does get killed, but then we have this sort of, he gets his back in the end because, Longshanks, the King of England has also died. His, like, shit gay son is going to be the next king, and that's obviously not going to go well. And William Wallace has knocked up the son's wife, and so the future King of England will secretly be a little Wallace-let.
Yeah, that'll show them when he goes on to burn down bits of Scotland as Edward III.
And in an inspiring final scene in the movie, we end on the prelude to the Battle of Bannockburn, where Edward II has decided to give Robert the Bruce the crown, and then Robert Bruce is like, "No, I am the king, but also I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah.
And then Scotland won.
Yeah. Oh, Robert the Bruce is in this film.
Scotland 1, England 0.
And that took us about, even counting sidebars, that took us about 5 minutes to get through.
It's quite complicated.
It takes us This is my main
I
point
cannot
about
believe this movie is 3
So
hours
boring.
long.
It's so
It's as long as Barry Lyndon.
There is a point, because I hadn't seen it.
Which is crazy, because you could just watch Barry Lyndon.
You could have Barry Lyndon open on your phone.
You could have 3 hours of your life watching an amazing film, or you can watch Braveheart.
So there's a moment in what I thought was towards the end of the movie, after the Battle of Falkirk, which is famously the battle that William Wallace loses, where he is charging towards the retreat, towards Edward I, alone, and I'm like, okay, famously William Wallace is captured at the Battle of Falkirk. This is the moment where he gets captured. The movie's wrapping up. He's gonna get thrown in prison. He's gonna get executed. We're done. I just sort of check how long is left in the movie. I see we have another hour. Because he doesn't...
Man.
They add... That's when he becomes, like, the Punisher for a bit.
Yeah. In a part of the film that doesn't really have a reason to exist.
No, it's completely tacked on. It doesn't... Aside from him having sex with Isabella, it doesn't... Nothing happens, really.
Yeah.
And this is the other issue with the movie. For vast chunks of this 3-hour movie, nothing actually happens.
Yeah.
Like, there are battles and there are conversations and people die, but from a character and emotional point of view, everyone is completely inert.
Once William Wallace's wife is fridged,
Yeah.
and he's free to just go off the handle, like he doesn't change.
No.
That's it. He's death drive. Because that's what it's about. Is that he needs to die basically. He talks a lot about how it's worth dying for this vague idea of freedom.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the main goal, is to die.
Yeah, and like and we're going to talk about this when we talk about another revenge movie shortly, but when with a revenge movie, usually around about the end of the second act, the character finds out something that changes his motivation. He learns either that his revenge is bad, or that the target of his revenge was wrong, and the movie changes focus. You cannot have a movie, like, from the point at which... He doesn't even free the country at the end of the movie.
Well, because it's beholden to the historical record.
The historical record.
The
historical
Wild Bill Road Voice.
Wild Bill Road.
It's beholden to the historical record in the stupidest ways. Because I don't think a film needs to like be accurate to what actually happens. It just needs to be entertaining. But they're following like events pretty closely.
Yeah.
But just in a way that makes it less compelling. He should have had a sword fight with Longshanks.
Yes.
He should have actually been his dad the whole time or something.
Oh yeah, the other. By the way, you may be wondering.
Yeah.
This is a history podcast. Why aren't they focusing on pointing out the historical inaccuracies? And the reason why we're not doing that is because it essentially would involve recapping every single thing that happens in the movie. There is nothing. There is nothing that you can trust at all.
I think one of the things that really got under my skin about this film is like William Wallace is not someone who we know a lot about.
No.
And we have these, moments where we can say he was here, he did this. And you get pieces of fiction like, say, Hilary Mantel's works, or things like the Northman, the Northman, the Northern Man,
the Northern Man,
that are also about sparsely recorded historical people and events, or legendary people and events, and use the ambiguity and the lack of information to like build something that is, more than just what we know. And there's no imagination in it whatsoever. Any time where they could fill in something that's even slightly interesting, where they could take even the slightest liberty to come up with like an interesting plot point or development of the culture or the setting or the characters, they're just like, actually no, let's just throw in a scene of the men who look like they're at Woodstock 99 running into each other.
Well, they fill in that hole with proto-Christian nationalism.
Yes.
Which is why this film is evil.
It's really odd.
The undercurrent of, like, and it plays this up a lot, is how important religion is. They're blessed by monks at the start of the battle.
Yeah.
It's like very explicitly they get married. They get the Christian burials going on, as opposed to the vaguely
the pagan
godless English. Yeah.
And the church, when they're in a church, is like the only time when they're in a building with four walls. It is like the church is the only form of civilization they have. And it's why the whole sort of dynamics with the, you know, the prima nocta plot point and the women, and like, you know, so much of the instigation of the film being this like sexual capital of Scottish women is so strange, because they really strip everything from like the Scottish people. They have like no property, no possessions, you know, it's all done in the name of showing how not free they are. But the only thing they have left is like their human capital, and so it is weirdly a film that like trades on sort of its human subjects as if they're chattel, because it's like that's the only thing the Scottish have to lose is like their prime woman flesh and man flesh, you know? It's really weird.
Well, because you can't really, because the movie's not interested in articulating what would freedom mean to a medieval person. And so it's left with what are you left with? Is just like, well, I guess freedom from unwanted sexual attention is like, nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Freedom to continue my bloodline, like, you know.
There's no positive idea of freedom. It's just freedom from the English.
Freedom from versus freedom to.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with the point about that, like, every time the movie approaches something interesting, it decides that is like something that's real, that is interesting, and is quite cinematic. It decides to make that thing less interesting. And there's two examples that I really want to kind of focus on, which is number one, the Battle of Stirling. So the Battle of Stirling Bridge.
Just call it the Battle of Stirling Bridge, otherwise it's going to be confusing.
Yeah, the real life Battle of Stirling Bridge, which is the big victory that William Wallace wins during his rebellion, is one of the most cinematic battles in the Middle Ages. It has genuinely, like, when you are making an action scene, right? Especially an extended action scene, like a battle scene, you need the momentum needs to shift, the nature of what is being contested needs to shift, and the sort of like the power dynamic between the characters needs to shift.
And you want to be set somewhere that's like kinetic and real, you know?
Yes.
You want to be I need to try and speak through this idea, but like a good action scene should exist in a place that affects the flow of the fight.
Yes.
You know, like, and in the case of the real Battle of Stirling Bridge, great action scene, there's a big bridge. The English run across it, get stuck on that side, and then drown.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
It's brilliant because it's also like, what a great kind of like judo flip to use the English advantage, which is they're all in like they're all a bunch of heavily armored knights against them.
Yeah.
And then you can run them down. And in this, it's just like, what's William Wallace's big technique? Okay, he uses long spears to counter the English cavalry. That is a thing that the Scots did during that war. But he also uses a flanking maneuver of sending 12 lightly armored cavalry around.
Importantly, you should mention there is no bridge.
Yes, there is no bridge or even a river at any point.
They're just in a big green field.
Yeah. Again, it is the field from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And so you take this action scene. So every single one of these battle scenes, it has external stakes in the sense that, like, technically characters could die. But there are basically no internal stakes because none of the people who are fighting William Wallace or his friends have any connection to their emotional arc at all. They're not real, aside from just like their ultimate goal of freeing Scotland in some nebulous sense. They aren't opposing that in any way. And so the battles are aside from the first battle, which is just like him and 5 mates fighting 5 English guys in a fort, where it is a dynamic, kinetic setting. First they're outside the fort, then they're inside the fort.
He climbs
the wall. They use the door in a creative way.
A guy gets Mortal Kombat fatality onto a palisade. It rocks.
But in Stirling Bridge and then in Falkirk, like, just kind of like the battle just happens.
There's zero sense of place.
Yeah.
No.
Whereas compare it to something like a good battle, like Battle of Helm's Deep, where we have different phases to the battle. Where first, the Uruk-hai are coming up with siege ladders, and they're being repelled, and there's archery, and then the wall gets blown up, and then suddenly it's like Aragorn is rolling around in the dirt with a bunch of elves, and then there's a bit where Aragorn and Gimli are like fighting on a bridge, and it's like the scene keeps changing, the nature of the conflict keeps changing, and what you're seeing keeps changing. So that's one example of the movie making active choices to become less interesting. The other example is Robert Bruce. So Robert Bruce, who is the guy who will ultimately kind of become the king who will free Scotland, in the historiography, is a really interesting guy because he kind of sucks. he murks a guy in a church and gets excommunicated for it. He is pretty much, until the moment that he becomes king, the most and for quite a while afterwards, the most cynical, remorseless bastard alive.
The famous story about him is him sitting in a cave after getting his shit kicked in and being sad about it until a spider teaches him perseverance.
Yeah.
You know?
The point is he's a dynamic character who goes on what you would call a traditional cinematic arc, right? Or at least you could spin one out of that story. No pun intended.
Yeah.
In the movie, every single scene with Robert Bruce begins and ends the same way. He will go to see his leper dad, who looks like Emperor Palpatine.
He looks like Freddy Krueger.
And he's like, Dad, I think that we should stand up to the English. He's like, no, my son, you must compromise for our family.
He just vacillates constantly.
Yeah.
He's a boring character because he's constantly like, I don't want to betray William Wallace, but I guess I will.
No, you must rise, Lord Vader. Betray William Wallace. It's just, and that scene happens 3 times.
It's the only Jewish representation in the film because his dad keeps being like, I don't have much time left, sweetheart. Please just do your father a favor. I'm not long for this world.
I've got the kind of leprosy where you die real slow.
Hey, Olivia. I don't think you want there to be Jewish representation in this movie. But I don't think you're going to want what that would look like.
I think it's a fascinating, movie because all of the violence is so interchangeable, and it gives this feeling that the violence is perpetual, and it gives the feeling of the Scottish that they're not struggling to become like the equals of the English. They are struggling because it's like noble to be an underclass struggling against an overclass. So it's not really a movie that imagines like an end to the violence, that it's sort of demonizing or purportedly demonizing.
Oh, it loves violence,
purporting to be trying to free its subjects from. So it really is purely a movie about the freedom. I think the freedom in the movie is the freedom to fight against an oppressor who will always exist. It's the freedom to always be oppressed and always have a chip on your shoulder about it and always be justified in doing violence. That's the freedom. The freedom is justified violence.
Yeah, exactly. The freedom to kill like your enemies and have zero moral qualms about it.
Yeah.
And to be the best at doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And the movie kind of it walks up to the line of acknowledging that. Because there are scenes where, towards the end, where, his mates are like, hey, William Wallace. This is the accent they do. Because this is, sidebar, this movie was filmed in Ireland. Most of the cast are Irish. The only Scottish actors I recognize were Peter Mullen and Brian Cox. And Mel Gibson aside from those two, the best Scottish accent in the movie is Mel Gibson, because he very clearly had a dialect coach. Whereas with the Irish actors, they were just
I'm close.
Close enough.
No, Brendan Gleeson is extremely marginal, yeah.
Actively bad. Whereas and then when he shows up in Kingdom of Heaven, you're just like, oh, that's right, you're a good actor.
He can act. Yeah. They let him off the chain.
Yeah. He's so fun in that movie. Anyway, the scene where his mates will be like, William Wallace, you know that you've become obsessed with revenge and that's bad for you. And this is what it sounds. This is how it sounds to my ear. And
Southern gentleman.
I do declare, William Wallace.
William Wallace, fetch me.
Also, and there's an Irish stereotype with him as well.
Oh yeah. Well, we can't get into all the boring characters in this film.
Nobody's interesting.
3 hours long.
I didn't like being with any of these
Yeah, why did they just put an Irish guy in who shows up and he's like,
and he's a bit crazy.
He's like, I'm Irish, so my whole personality is based around being a bit crazy.
I'm the loco one. Whoa.
Oh, I might just set off a bomb.
Oh no.
Anyway. But yeah, no, and then it's all leading up to the inevitable end because William Wallace can't exist without violence.
Yeah.
There's no world in which he is free, so he needs to die for it instead.
Oh yeah, just to finish the thought.
Okay.
The movie acknowledges the fact that he is on this revenge quest that is overpowering any kind of sense that he is acting for other people. But then it doesn't say it doesn't really say that's bad.
Yeah,
In fact, the thesis of the movie is that was good.
He just kills more people.
Yeah.
And crucially, like, the only people that are shown is, like, I mean, I think that the themes of, like, desirability and sex, like, intersect with this, in that, like, there's this really odd sort of, like, moral coding of all the characters based on how sort of physically violent they are.
And how physically attractive they are as well.
That's
it's
the
all
moral
twined
coding.
up. So like the most kind of perfidious like evil or the most like perfidious evil character in the movie is probably Robert Bruce Sr., who again looks like Emperor Palpatine, which is not a. But yeah, there's this intertwining of masculine virility, violence, and then freedom. The violence is close to godliness is the thesis of the movie to me.
And the weird, kind of inciting incident with the whole prima nocta thing sets up this weird dichotomy where, like, all of the English guys we see are these, like, foppish, effeminate guys, and the implication is that, like, they can't get their own women, Like, they have to trade on these, like, on trickery and, like, force to seduce women, even, like, the Princess Isabel is, like, she's clearly not in this arrangement by choice, whereas, like, these beefy Scottish, like, fucking
Real men.
prime specimens are just
Real
like,
Angus beef.
yeah, these pure Angus, USDA prime beef fellas are just, they're so virile that, like, women just fall at their feet. And so it's like, of course, the satisfaction. I think in some ways the film comes full circle, or it pays itself off when William Wallace is violently, dismembered. But I think the real sort of fulfillment of the premises the film is set up is when he impregnates the princess.
Yes.
Because that is his ultimate sort of lasting legacy, and it's the ultimate, what the film is set up is like the ultimate fuck you to the English, is like,
We're stealing your woman back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we did it consensually.
We're so effortlessly charmless that we sort of stand
Effortlessly.
gormlessly.
I know that was a faux pas, but effortlessly charmless is how I would describe William Wallace in this movie.
He just sort of exists near her and she throws herself at his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's even that scene, remember, the French princess and the maid are, like, giggling, and, like, the maid is like, did you hear William Wallace has, like, been murdering loads of women because they killed his wife? And they're
That's
like,
so
oh,
hot.
oh.
That's true. They said something to the effect of, that's true romance.
Yeah, the sexiest thing you can do is kill people because they killed your wife. Evil film.
I hate being in it. I hate seeing it. I hate, like, inhabiting that world.
Yeah. Oh, it does not look good.
And then, of course, the ultimate irony is that it culminates, in the public execution where he is. His guts are rearranged on a cross.
Oh.
And there is one shot in particular where, while he is being disemboweled.
No, sorry, back up. My favorite part of the film is when they're racking him, and he's not, like, screaming or anything, and the guy is, like, who's, like, overseeing this whole thing is, like, pulling on the rope and testing it, and he's like, wow, I've never seen anyone get racked this well.
Well, it's just like, if you're having a scene where someone's being tortured, it's supposed to be incredibly painful, but he doesn't scream throughout it, like, as a test of will. It doesn't work if the guy can't act.
Yeah.
He needs to look like he's in pain.
Well, again, I've been making this comparison off air, but, like, I think this movie is a very interesting companion piece to the Indian movie RRR. They are functionally the same movie, but RRR is good. And in RRR, there's a very similar scene where one of the protagonists is getting tortured, and he sings a sick song. And, like, something interesting happens.
Yeah. Whereas Mel Gibson just shouts freedom.
Well,
and
first
then
he makes the
expires.
O face.
Oh, yeah.
And then he...
While they're tearing out his guts. And he's got, like, an evil cardinal type.
Yeah.
Cardinal Richelieu from
Yeah.
The Three Musketeers is whispering in
Exactly.
his ear.
You should say, submit.
Submit. Yeah, he is. He is like, say mercy.
Say mercy, yeah.
And bow to your king.
Yeah.
Obviously, William Wallace is just like, wait, I can't do a face.
This is an audio product. Is there anything else you want to say about Braveheart except that it's bad?
No, No, I think it's all a movie about just taking the pain,
Yeah.
taking the pain, because then you can give it right back to him 1,000 times. I mean, even his mate Brendan Gleeson, like, they have that scene where William Wallace is like throwing rocks at his head, and it's like you immediately know this guy is.
I forgot about
Fucking,
that.
they literally do the strength of that boy's heat fucking video.
It literally,
It's like the only charming scene in the film.
yeah. It's like, oh, these people we've established that these people have a relationship, and then we never have to develop that relationship again because we've established that they have a rapport.
Yeah.
No, that scene is great because they're also like they're midsummering, they're like frolicking through the meadows wearing
Yeah.
flower crowns.
And they're both supposed to be like maybe 25 years old.
And Brendan Gleeson. That's actually, yeah. We've really let Brendan Gleeson off the hook for the being cast way over.
Oh, but he's a good fella.
Yeah.
He is. All right.
We'll return to him. Okay, from one.
I give it 0 freedoms out of 5.
I-
Do not watch it.
I give it 0 sterling bridges.
I give it 1/4 out of 4.
Nice jokes. This red letter media shit is easy.
On gentle Northman, think of Roland. There is his German, who dies on the field.
So
Everybody sort of talks like this.
so Braveheart taught us that actually revenge is good.
You love it. It'll go great for you. You'll
This
become
next, even
Jesus.
if you die, you're Jesus.
Yeah.
Revenge is a dish best served with haggis.
What this next movie presupposes is
Revenge is a dish best served with Sustrom.
Sustroming.
Sustroming?
Yeah.
You're whitey everywhere.
We are, of course, talking about The Northman, Robert Eggers' 2022 Viking epic.
My boy, Robert Eggers.
Joe, you could sum up this movie in 60 seconds. Go.
Oh my god, 5-sentence summary. They kill Amleth's dad. He swears to do revenge. He doesn't for 30 years. Then he does. And it goes bad for him.
Yeah.
He kills his uncle.
Kills his uncle. Kills his mum.
Yeah, he kills
Kills his...
basically his entire extended family when you think about it.
At one point, Brooke says, choose between revenge or kindness for your kin.
He's like, I choose revenge.
And then that goes great for his kin.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy is
Anya-
also there.
Anya Taylor-Joy
as
is
a
there.
Sexy, slightly witchy Slavic woman.
Yeah.
And Bjork. Bjork is a
Bjork's
Norn.
there. Bjork's there.
So this movie is based on the same base story as Hamlet, which is the first recorded, I think, by Saxo Grammaticus. It pretty much just does this. The story was first recorded, as far as we know, by Saxo Grammaticus. We don't know if Amleth was a real historical character. He probably wasn't, but it got transmitted down the generations until it arrived at William Shakespeare, who made arguably the definitive adaptation, at least until The Lion King. And now we're going back. We're rev turning to the original, and Robert Eggers, who is a filmmaker who I really respect for really committing to trying to put you in the mind of people in a different period.
Norse ideology.
Yes, Norse ideology, and just how upsetting and weird Norse ideology was.
All those blood feuds we talked back about on the Greenland episode.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Well, one of the things actually, so when we did the second Viking episode, the episode about like Viking mythology, I was cribbing very, very heavily from a book called Children of Ash and Elm by Neil Price. It's fantastic. It's very upsetting. It's very weird. And this movie used him as a historical consultant. And a lot of stuff is just transposed directly from that book. So let's talk about the movie. It's good.
What's his name? Ethan Hawke burps.
Yeah, he does burp.
Willem Dafoe is here.
Willem Dafoe is here. Here's my review of the movie, just as a moviegoer. It is a beautifully realized, incredibly compelling, incredibly painstakingly accurate depiction of Viking life and the Viking world. The problem is that spending 2 hours in the Viking world is exhausting, and I don't like these people, and they really bum me out.
It's definitely another movie that kind of takes it out of you.
Yes, I was exhausted after this movie. In a more kind of positive way than Braveheart. Because it is like an hour shorter than Braveheart, and so much more happens.
Oh my god, you can feel it as well.
But I did want to ask you guys, because I had this epiphany yesterday. This is obviously based on the same story structure as Hamlet and therefore as The Lion King. Who is the Timon and Pumbaa of this movie? Because there is a correct answer.
The decapitated head of Willem Dafoe?
No, Willem Dafoe is the monkey.
Oh, God, he is the monkey.
Yeah, because he comes back. Timon and Pumbaa are the horrible Viking berserkers.
Oh yeah, the wolf pack guys.
Yeah, who take it. So let's start by talking about some of the things that are very specifically like lifted from Viking history. He spends 30 years in the care of this band of Viking berserkers who are traveling around Eastern Europe and terrorizing people.
Yeah,
gathering slaves.
There's a charming scene of them raiding a Slavic village, which is, with all that as you would expect to entail, which ends on them being like these Slavic savages.
Yeah, yeah, that's
these
a great
Christian
gag.
savages worship a corpse.
Yeah, at which point they burn down a house full of children. Because important part of the film, Amleth, massive scumbag, not a good guy.
Yes, he kills multiple children on screen. He is obsessed with death.
Call out post for Hamlet. He killed multiple minors on screen.
Kissed his mom on the lips.
Yeah, exactly.
But like central to Amleth's character and something that he inherits from his dad is this fascination with revenge and with fate and with a good death. Like there's a very revealing scene at the start of the movie where his dad is played by Ethan Hawke. Before he gets murdered, he's saying, I don't want to grow old and die, of natural causes, because then I won't get to go to Valhalla. I want to go out historic on the Fury Road.
And he's like, that's convenient because I have this massive open wound.
And his wife's like, oh, you want to die with your sword in hand? Interesting. Yeah. That could be arranged.
Yeah. She literally says something like, I'm sure you will. And then the next scene.
No, and then there's a scene where Ethan Hawke's like, swear to me, they do a load of drugs in a hut.
Yes.
Him and his son, yeah.
Yeah, and Willem Dafoe. Because
they drink LSD out of dog bowls.
Yes. And he's like...
And then his dad is like, don't fall for women's tricks.
Yeah. Well, no,
I forgot about that part.
This movie's a bit woker than that.
Oh no, his dad
Because
also says, but respect women.
Yes, respect women
because they're tricky.
Yeah, they know the secrets of the universe.
Yeah. And then, if I ever die, avenge me.
Yes.
And then he walks outside and dies.
In the most object lesson ever taught. The movie is suffused with these scenes that are very clearly supernatural, right? We have, at one point, obviously you have the LSD scene where he kind of has this vision of like, of a
motorbike.
Yeah, a vision of a motorbike. It's like, this is gonna be sick.
What could be cooler than a long shoot?
I can't wait. In 500 years, you can get in 1,000.
The Tudor motorbikes.
I can't wait until the Tudor motorbikes come along.
They're wood powered.
That'd be so cool.
Wood fired motorbikes.
In 1,000 years, you can get Viking runes tattooed on you and ride an iron horse.
Yeah. Huzzah.
Everyone will think you're really cool.
Yeah, you're the sickest man around.
So this scene with the drinking LSD out of dog bowls is very, very trippy, but it does set up the fact that something that's going to recur throughout the movie, which is there are these supernatural scenes that are very explicitly supernatural. So later on, we see a Viking sort of you could call it a zombie. It's a Draugr.
Draugr, yeah.
Yeah, if you played Skyrim, you know what that is. I was thinking to myself, I have done this in Skyrim. He takes a sword. We see a flashback to some dwarves making a sword very quickly. We see multiple scenes of Valkyries.
But it is drawn into question at certain points as well.
Yes, and I think the LSD scene is really like is priming you for this.
You can get flashbacks.
Yeah.
It gets into your spine.
Yeah. It's priming you for this because it's teaching you to question this, like, is this actually happening or is this in his head? And one of the things that I think the movie does really, really well, probably my favorite thing about the movie, is that it tries to get you into the subjective experience of being a Viking, which is, this stuff is real, and you should treat it as such, but we as the audience are at a remove enough to understand that there are other things potentially happening.
I think rather than this film asking the question of, are these things that were being shown on screen real or not real, it is attempting to kind of lead you towards the blurred line between, where perception of the physical, sort of merges with perception of the supernatural or what may or may not be there. I think it's about, the film creates, a kind of heightened reality.
Yeah.
And is trying to show you that the characters are experiencing a state of heightened reality.
Yeah, it's real to him.
Yeah, exactly, because we also see them, howling like wolves while they kill people and sort of, trying to, like, whip themselves into this berserker sort of blood frenzy, and the whole idea is that, like, this is a state that they're seeking out, and that this is part of their religion and their worldview, is to use, like, violence and bravery and bloodlust to bring themselves closer to, the higher powers.
There's a real like line throughout the film of being animalistic.
Yes.
And Skarsgård plays this, like, he's howling like a wolf in various scenes.
He calls himself Amleth Beowulf.
Yeah, he acts like a beast, and
Yeah.
like, he's asked the question, "Are you a man?"
Yeah.
Which he proves by farting. As someone who's danced around a big fire with my top off,
With your mates.
it's good fun. Would recommend. Give it a go. Don't do the bit they did after that. Don't raid a Slavic village.
Yeah, and
That's bad.
Burn children alive. Actually, I think the berserkers are really interesting because what is a berserker is actually a very, like, contested question.
The guy who bites his shield.
Well, lots of people think that berserkers were Vikings who did drugs and sort of sent them into this, like, crazy frenzy, and they took all their clothes off and fought naked. And there are Vikings who do crazy stuff like that, and the English call them berserkers. But there's no evidence they did drugs, and I think that the movie walks a very careful line, because we have this very interesting scene before the attack on the village where they are working, this old man who is the Timon and Pumbaa stand-in is working them all up into this frenzy by speaking to them in like old Icelandic. And by the use of the Icelandic language is brilliant in this movie. Apparently Robert Eggers wanted to film it all in that because he's a sicko.
He hates making money.
Okay, this is another thing about this movie is it was a massive bomb, and I remember the marketing at the time being like, this is this generation's Gladiator. No, it's not.
It's super not.
It's super not. It's weird and upsetting. But, like, so in that scene, they're working themselves into a frenzy wearing these kind of wolf coats, and they sort of reach this heightened state of, like, seeing themselves as wolves. And that is something that actually pretty much is directly attested to from Byzantine sources who described, Northmen doing this. But again, we don't see drugs because Robert Eggers knows that would be a very contentious thing to put in the movie.
And then it culminates in this great, like, single shot action scene
Oh, God.
of them
It's
attacking
incredible.
this village and it dragging out along through the whole thing. But then it ends quite well with them all being a bit knackered.
Yes.
And sort of sitting around in the aftermath, and, like, the more colder cruelty of them putting everyone into chains and
Yeah.
dragging them off.
And I think that it really kept this movie, throughout this movie, you're forced to kind of confront the reality of Viking slavery, which is central to their economy, central to their way of life, and is horrifically cruel. And yeah, but, like, lives were incredibly cheap. Female slaves in particular were subject to constant sexual violence, which recurs again towards the end of the movie, where, spoiler alert for Hamlet, or spoiler alert for this 13th century epic, it is revealed that Amleth's mother, who Amleth thinks has been kidnapped by his uncle, actually betrayed her husband and was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna shack up with the uncle because he seems a little bit better. And the reason for that is because it is revealed that Amleth's dad did not, in fact, marry a foreign bride and bring her back to the kingdom. She was a slave, who was elevated to the title of queen. And that's why mysteriously she hates all these people and seems quite relieved when she dies.
Hate my annoying scumbag son.
Yeah. She literally says, I hate evil son is here. And you really, they make you sit with how much how horrible what Amleth is doing is. Because there are constant scenes of, Fjolnir, the uncle, being like, this is terrifying, I hate this.
He sort of, after the Slavic village scene, Bjork shows up.
Bjork
Yes.
shows up.
And she's like, steady on.
Yeah.
You've had a bit too much.
Yeah.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Stop fucking around and go face your
Have
destiny.
these eggs. Sorry, that was a deep cut.
And then Amleth disguises himself as a slave, and because in the meantime his useless uncle Fjolnir has fumbled the bag and lost the kingdom.
Well, no, he hasn't actually fumbled the bag. There's a really interesting throwaway line that really, I think, grounds the movie in a very specific period in Viking history. Specifically the line is, "Oh, Fjolnir lost the kingdom because King Harald of Norway kicks him out." This is presumably Harald Fairhair, which means that the movie is setting itself up in this very specific time period where the original mythical Harald Fairhair rather than Harald Hardrada. It's setting itself in this very specific time period where the kingdoms of Scandinavia are consolidating themselves. And people like Fjolnir are the losers of that process because they're the local, Hygians who are losing their autonomy and their power.
And like all our favourite losers, what do you do when you lose out?
Run away to Iceland.
Run away to Iceland and start a shit farm there.
Yeah.
So he fumbles the bag and goes to Iceland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amleth disguises himself as a slave and follows him there. And you get a lot of beautiful shots of the Icelandic countryside.
Yeah.
I want to go there. It looks amazing.
It does
great.
look amazing. I do feel like the second hour of the movie, I love it less.
There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
scenes on, because then they're all on this homestead.
The whole movie just becomes the homestead, basically.
Yeah. And it's not that interesting.
I love to live in Iceland in my house made out of the ground.
I don't know. He gets to be like a sort of spooky ghost haunting this village.
No, but as a setting, it's much less interesting than bam, we're in this Viking mead hall. Bam, we're in the Rus. Bam, Bjork's here.
I like it though because it's a step down. Because
Yes.
it is in the same way that he's degrading himself by pursuing this revenge. It's all very petty. He's not
Yes.
reclaiming his kingdom. He's attacking this guy who runs a small farmstead in the
The
middle
small
of nowhere.
businessman.
Yeah, there's a small business owner who's persecuted by his nephew.
Yeah, and he does get to go on a cool sort of quest to get a cool sword from a cool fox who takes him to a cool guy who has the head of his old mate and talks to it, and he's like, you have to go fight this. I think maybe part of my beef was because he goes to the warlock and they do supernatural stuff. And then when he also has to go and have a second supernatural experience in the same night, I was like, oh.
This is technically, there are 3 different scenes in the movie where he consults a supernatural,
Which is fine, I don't care about him getting his fortune told, but I want him to have one supernatural experience per night, maximum.
Well, importantly, the Draugr scene, and he has this exciting sword fight with a big zombie in a
it's
ship
so
burial.
big. That was in my notes, that Draugr is so big.
It's great.
Because
He's
Alexander
huge.
Skarsgård is a huge man, and that Draugr is 8 feet tall.
He's getting tossed around by
Yeah.
this 8-foot-tall skeleton, and then it cuts to him picking the sword off the guy in the original position,
Yeah.
and the corpse crumbling into ashes.
Yeah.
So is it a moment of self-mythology where what he expects is to have this confrontation with the supernatural, where all he's done is rob a grave
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a cool sword. It's a cool sword though.
It is a great sword, yeah.
And
let me see.
then he just harangues some guy. He makes a Sleipnir.
Yeah.
He bullies this kid because the kid's way too into... There's a scene of sports.
Sports?
Yeah.
Sports game happens. They play a horrible game of just trying to beat
They
each
just
other.
play lacrosse. They play Native American rules lacrosse.
With the biggest man in Iceland. They found a man larger than Alexander Skarsgård.
Is that the guy from
It's the
Severance?
guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know if it's also the guy from Severance.
The big guy from big Icelandic guy from Severance. It might
There
be.
was some severance about to happen because he tried to knock that child's head clean off.
He got to yeah.
He gets the football bloodlust.
Okay, for context.
Yeah, he gets the Viking berserker rage over playing football with a knife.
So he shows up. We have to return. Now I'm the one who's like trying to get us back on the plot.
You know, it's like when Boris Johnson tackled that kid and degged him.
Sorry, it was in the heat of battle.
Okay, so for context, he gets to this shithouse farm on a hill in Iceland.
Does some fun physical acting as a slave.
Yes, I also put that in my notes. I like how he changes his posture and becomes
Yeah.
a dunce.
Yeah.
Because he is like 2 feet taller than all. He's
Looks
Alexander
so
Skarsgård.
unconvincing.
Yeah, folks, he looks amazing. He's like this massive guy.
His traps are enormous, like his lats are enormous, his
Yeah.
biceps are enormous. He's been cutting and bulking, like
Yes,
he's been getting clean protein somehow.
but to make it convincing, he does this. It's good physical acting. He hunches over. He sort of like mumbles about the place, and then gets involved in sports.
Yeah, so he arrives there, and Fjolnir's there, his mother's there. They have 2 kids, one of whom is a sort of like smug, smarmy, weedy guy.
It's like the villain from like a teenage comedy.
Yes.
I've got all the money.
Yeah.
Like
And then
a
they
swarthy sort of slick guy.
Yeah.
and then they've got a child son who is way too into sports, as discussed.
I hate my child son.
I
My evil son is here to persecute my child son. Oh, time for the sports bit of the
Sports
podcast.
news.
We don't
In the
understand
latest
it.
game of murder stickball, a big man tried to kill a child until he was stopped by a slightly smaller man.
Bad news for the upcoming star, huge man. They thought he'd make it to the international leagues, but he's been killed.
Yes, so he does so once he gets there, he sort of starts tormenting the family. Again, ruining their lives. He murders a bunch of the older son's friends and he does like Hannibal shit to them.
Yeah, but it is like from the TV show.
It literally is
It is.
Hannibal.
I mean, this sounds stupid. That the one bit that stretches my imagination is him having time to do that. Because it's really impressive. But whatever.
He kills a couple of kills a couple
Well, his
priests.
sword is really good because they look at the dead guys and they're like, this had to be demons or something. It couldn't have been humans. So presumably he's slicing through these guys like butter. It probably takes 2 seconds.
He drives all the dogs mad
Yes.
by barking like a fox, and then dabs on some priests of Freya.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy gives everybody bad mushrooms.
Yeah.
No, she gives them the good mushrooms.
She gives them those a hitting.
Yeah. She gives them the fly agaric, which is the mushroom that makes you evil. Because I've read all these, because you can find them in the woods, and I've read these drug forums that are like, what is it like if you eat these? Can I take these recreationally? And loads of
become
people
evil.
do it. Yeah.
Dudes rock.
Loads of people do it. And they're all invariably like, it made me evil. There was one that was like, oh my god, yeah, they were all absolutely, apparently they just make you insanely paranoid. Every single post I read about them was like, it made me think that there were actual demons at my house.
I spiked my entire Icelandic village, and we all went
exactly.
mad.
The new Mr. Beast episode. I gave 15 slaves the mushrooms that make you evil.
He kills the slick son.
He kills the slick son, and eventually he confronts his mother, and they have quite possibly the weirdest exchange in any movie ever. So he comes up behind her when she's changing, first of all, with his sword at her neck, and she says,
What a long sword you
she
have.
says, your sword is long, and his response is, I am your son.
To be fair, he shuts that shit down
Yeah.
at the earliest opportunity.
And I think, okay, here's my hot take about the mother, because it's played by Nicole Kidman. I think Nicole Kidman's cast poorly. I think my first note in the movie that I made was, Nicole Kidman sure is doing an accent, isn't she? I think that the character, though, still works for me, because she is very clearly like, this place sucks, everybody here is insane, I am just trying to survive, I will hitch myself to any lifeboat I can, but I'm not going to debase myself by, like, validating this idiot murderer narcissist's
My
fantasies.
evil son.
Yeah. So she is the only sympathetic character in the movie to me, except for the child who's too into sports ball.
Wait, what about Anya Taylor-Joy?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh yeah, she, and then all the like Slavic people who get murdered.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
That poor Irish fella.
Yeah. Yeah, the first thing that we see the Vikings do earlier in the movie, the first thing we see the Vikings do when they're in, like, the lands of the Rus is they just shoot a fisherman and his son for no reason.
And then laugh about it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
And it really just, like, you're just in this horrible world for the whole movie, and it is exhausting to be there.
They worship violence.
Yes.
Just like Mel Gibson, but, like, Robert Eggers knows that that's a bad thing. As opposed to
Yes,
Mel
absolutely.
Gibson, who thinks that that's great, actually.
No, Amleth and Braveheart are like two sides of the same coin, but Robert Eggers understands that that's bad, and literally, so we get to Anya Taylor after they've terrorized the village a bit. Anya Taylor-Joy and Amleth escape, and they have sex in a pond. Anya Taylor-Joy gets pregnant. He's like, okay. She almost convinces him to run away.
Yeah,
be normal and start a family.
They got on a boat with this huge green guy.
Yes,
with a big axe.
Ralph Ineson's
Ralph
here.
Ineson shows up.
And
Yeah.
I was so happy to see him.
He's great. I
And
love
he's
it.
doing a, like, sort of, like, flight attendant bit. He's like, for the next 14 days, this here little boat will be your home. Strap in tight.
I wish I
Safety
was
exits are everywhere.
straight into the North Sea.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, wait, where's fucking Fjolnir's son? Like, didn't he want to come on the boat? And Amleth is like, he took his own boat. And fucking, what's his name, looks, like, quite put down by this. He's like, oh, he didn't want to come on my boat.
So Anya Taylor-Joy is like, by the way, you knocked me up.
Yeah.
No, he kisses her tummy.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he
Or
has a
something.
vision.
No, he kisses the cut on her neck.
Oh, he
Yeah,
kisses the cut
because
on her neck and through the blood, yeah.
He sees a big blood tree when he touches his dad's wound early on, and that's like a sort of a reoccurring bit is the big blood tree, and then he
Yeah.
sees his two kids.
Yeah, and the blood tree is like contains all of his family.
Yeah, there's some cool little models of guys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
I love those little like ancient Viking dudes in the first scene.
Oh, they're cool.
But like, so he has this vision of his kids in the future, and his reaction is so fascinating because it's not like, wow, I could have a life outside of this quest for revenge that has kind of like taken over my entire personality.
Because he has put it behind himself at that point.
Yeah.
Presumably he's leaving.
He's left. He's
Fjolnir's
made his
still
point.
alive.
Fiona's still alive, but he doesn't really need to go. He's started to see that there's something beyond this, and then he as soon as he thinks that he has kids, he's like, well, obviously Fjolnir will stop at nothing to follow me, so I have to go and kill him. No, he won't. How would he find you? It's the 9th century.
Fjolnir isn't doing anything to follow him when he comes back as well. He's
No.
just kind of upset.
Yeah.
But I think, like, you know, the theme. Oh, so I guess yeah. Then he jumps overboard
Yeah.
and he finds Fjolnir. And
There's
they-
some
kills
great. Is it butterfly stroke? Back to
Yeah.
Iceland.
Yes.
No, yeah, I think he's butterflying it.
Yeah.
He's butterflying it. It's great.
So they have a big battle in a volcano.
Yeah.
He cuts
Well,
off
no,
his
he comes back, he kills his mum
Yeah.
and his half brother,
Yeah, his baby
Yeah.
baby brother.
which is quite upsetting.
It's really just
Which Fjolnir turns up and is like, you've killed my whole family, I'm depressed.
yeah. This sucks.
Yeah, my shitty nephew has ruined my life.
But also at this point, Amleth is getting like really fucked up. This is really like the point of
Oh
no
yeah,
return.
he's suffered so many. He's like stumbling around,
And
he's,
they
like,
hammer
swinging his
that-
sword like ooh.
They hammer that home because
Yeah.
his mom and his brother both slash him up a fair
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
And so they have a big naked sword fight inside of a volcano.
Yeah, they get naked
and they
in the
kill each
volcano.
other at the same time.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
great. And then the final shot is him being taken to Valhalla
by a
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
And then just before he reaches the gates, cut to black.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's just hallucinating.
Wait a minute. It's the same ending as Total Recall. This is the same movie.
It is. Except instead of a machine making his dreams fake, ideology did. Society
Yes.
injected him with ideas.
Well, I think Paul Verhoeven would say that society also injected him with those ideas. I think that might be the point of the movie. It really does capture the weirdness of Viking ideology, and I think there's one scene in particular that, like, I had completely forgotten about, which is the funeral for the elder son.
Because they do the human sacrifice.
Well, they do, beat for beat, exactly a funeral that Ibn Fadlan, the Arab sort of diplomat who meets Vikings in the Rus, describes, which is like...
Yeah, they kill a girl.
They kill it, they kill it, they not only do they kill a girl, but also... First, before they kill her, they like lift her up over this... There are lots of very specific
They have a big
moments.
girl killing party.
They have a big girl killing party, and they lift this girl up over like this doorway where she says that she sees her mother and her father, and you know, and then this old woman makes her drink this alcohol, possibly laced with something, and then they kill some horses, and then they kill the girl, and that is pretty much exactly beat for beat what is described by Ibn Fadlan, and he in a very harrowing scene, you know, in his account, he's like, says to the Vikings who are with him, like, this sucks and I want to leave.
You guys are scary.
You guys are really scary.
Mom, can you pick me up?
But
And that's how I felt watching the movie. I felt like
Really?
Ibn Fadlan. I was like, I want to go back to my Abrahamic worldview.
It's a bit gay.
It's a very compelling scene.
It's a great movie.
I think like that's the charm of like a director like Robert Eggers, who has this enthusiasm for authenticity. Is it's not about just recreating. I mean, obviously, like you say, he is recreating a scene word for word, but like that is compelling, you know.
And it's with purpose.
Yeah,
It's telling you something about how Vikings understand violence, how they understand the value of a human life, how they understand the role of death in their society. It's not just like, here's here's some background stuff for flavor.
Final thoughts on the film?
I think it's unlike Braveheart, which kind of presents violence as this, you know, thing with like no beginning and no ending. I think even though the Northman also is, you know, about the inevitability and the inescapability of violence, I think it is, and even though like Braveheart, it also ends with an impregnation that is like the main character's sort of final hurrah, final fuck you to his enemies. It ends on a much more, I think, positive note in a sense, because it's presenting a fantasy where you can escape this and where, yeah, the chain can be broken. And unlike, you know, the very Christ-like Mel Gibson, who's like noble because he suffers, I think Amleth is quite sort of like Moses. He's the guy who is, you know, on some level trying to do the right thing, but he's gotten so lost in the sauce that it's like he can't make it to the Holy Land, you know? They've got to go on without him.
He destroys himself and a load of other people's collateral in
Yeah.
his like quest for revenge.
Exactly.
And it makes me think about the stories of, you know, of Greenlandic Inuit interacting with the Vikings, where they're just like, why are you doing this? You know you don't have to do this.
Please be chill.
Yeah. Can we just have a nice archery competition? You don't have to throw your friend off this cliff.
Yeah, no, exactly. We don't have any, we the Inuit don't have any practices that anyone would find objectionable. These white men sure are crazy. These crackers sure are crazy, though.
Film looks beautiful. There's cool fight scenes.
Looks incredible.
Good gore. 4 out of 5.
Great costumes as well.
Yeah.
And set design, like the opening scene in like the mead hall. It's there's like this big greasy smoky room and there's just like dogs and babies and it's great. I wouldn't want to be there in a million years. If I woke up in 9th century Scandinavia, I would kill myself immediately.
I would be trying to walk to Rome somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, I would give it 3 Norns out of 4.
Too many Norns. What am I gonna do with all this weaving?
I would give it 1 twin out of 2. 1 maiden king out of 2 twins.
Oh no, I can't think of a rating system. You've stolen all the classic numbers. Good. It's a good film.
All the classic numbers.
Gets to the weird medieval guy's thumbs up of maybe watch this film if you like films.
Wait for that to go.
I think that's the official Weird Medieval Guys recommendation noise.
The recommendation horn.
Weird Medieval Guys banger alert siren.
Drive, cut through traffic as fast as you can to get to see the Northman.
Run, don't run or walk. Speed.
Break traffic laws.
Definitely.
But you know who isn't riding anything? Dev Patel in The Green Knight.
Whoa!
Because his horse gets nicked.
So,
dude, where's my horse?
So The Green Knight is based on 2021 movie by David Lowery. It is based on Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which is a anonymous epic poem in the Arthurian canon, and it's about Sir Gawain.
One of the first, interestingly.
Yeah.
Possibly written pre-Arthurian canon, right? Is that it?
It's contested,
Yeah.
like what order, but it's central to the development of like Arthuriana, and in it, Gawain feels trite even recapping it, but I think we can do it in 20 seconds. It's Christmas Eve. Sorry, it's Christmas. King Arthur is having all his knights at the round table for a big Christmas feast, and then a big green man shows up and says, who will indulge me in a Christmas game?
In the poem,
you can strike me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, in the poem, they spend a lot of time describing every piece of his clothing and how green it is. It's quite compelling.
Yeah.
It's like every piece. You keep waiting for it to be, and then they got to his trousers, which were red, and clashed pretty badly.
Now his stockings, you guessed it, green.
Wait, he's like Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale. Green silk with a light green trim and wooden toggles.
Because he is not in the original story, but in the Green Knight, made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the Green Knight says, who will indulge me in a Christmas game? I will. You can strike, land a blow on me.
Blow for blow.
Yes, land a blow on me, and I will return the blow to you. And Gawain, played by Dev Patel in this movie, has the bright idea: what if I decapitate this very obviously supernatural man who is a tree?
Yep.
That'll show him.
We can say this up front. This isn't something from the original poem, I don't think. But in this movie, he is the Green Man of Green Man fame.
Of the font fame.
He's a big, creaking... Can I just say, my favorite thing in this movie is the sound design. The sound of the
amazing.
Green Knight. Every single movement he makes is like
he needs
this...
oils.
Oh, it's so
he needs
nice.
some WD-40 or something so bad.
He's creaking, he sounds like a forest and,
Yeah.
and
Oil the
wind.
tree.
It's incredible.
No.
And
And
he's-
can oil wood. I think oils wood.
Log in, 20 minutes.
No, we can have a little wood discussion.
I want to talk about wood. I want to talk about Olivia
I
oiling
want to
wood.
die with my wood in my hand.
I think a very important theme of the film is whether you should oil wood.
Well, we'll get to that. So, Gawain decapitates the Green Knight. The Green Knight is like, lol.
it's my favorite.
See you in a
Yeah.
year.
It's my favorite scene ever
Good.
in the film and in the original poem of the Green Knight standing back up and picking his head up and being like, "Oh yeah, in a minute."
In the movie, there's such a great moment, because I think that my favorite scene in the movie is that first, the Christmas game. And in the movie, there's this great, aside where Merlin kind of, looks at Arthur, and they sort of share this moment of understanding of, okay, we need to tread carefully because this is some magical bullshit. And before Gawain goes to land the blow, Arthur's like, remember, it's only a game. Trying to like get the point to him, like, hey man, this is not going to go good for you.
Take it easy.
There's I don't know if you understand how medieval narratives work, but there's a lesson here. And I don't think it's good to kill people who let you kill them.
And Gawain's like, watch this.
Watch this sick shit. And so the Green Knight rides away. It says 1 year hence. Green Knight, by the way, voiced by Ralph Ineson. Terrific job. He sounds amazing.
He sounds like a tree.
He sounds like a tree. Every line is just, he's making a meal out of it.
It's oaky. It's like creaking.
Yeah. And he then, so a year later, Gawain has to go on a quest to meet with the Green Knight and sort of return the blow. And he has various sort of misadventures along the way. He meets Barry Keoghan.
Yes!
Playing a horrible, greasy little ruffian.
Great guy, Barry Keoghan.
He's so funny, yeah.
He meets Barry Keoghan and is like, Barry Keegan's like, oh, I think you to go to the Green Chapel. Gotta go to the Green Chapel over there. And he's like, sick, thanks. And he's like, aren't you gonna give me money? And he gives him the smallest coin you've ever seen. And so, of course,
Here,
then Barry
child.
Keoghan steals his horse.
Here, child, have a groat.
I'm gonna rob all your horses, so I am.
He then goes to, like, a woman. And this is a story, literally everything he does on his quest, he fucks up, which I absolutely love.
Well,
He's great.
to rush through the synopsis.
Yeah.
He's a pig. He's such a pig to everyone.
He just goes into this woman's house and sleeps. He doesn't know that she's a ghost.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
But end of the story, after a year of travel,
Not a year of travel. In the movie, it's 5 days.
Yeah, after a bit of traveling, he runs into this big house, has strange interactions.
We'll get there.
With the homeowner, who really like his vibe. And then goes...
And whose wife looks suspiciously like his girlfriend, because they're both played by Alicia Vikander.
That's great. Goes to the Green Chapel, at which point, in the original story, he gets a little nick on the neck as, like, proof of, like, well, you turned up, good on you, you prove that you're virtuous. And in the film, probably gets his whole ass head chopped off.
At the end of the movie, the line is, the Green Knight says, "Now, little knight, off with your head." And he gives a little, like, smile, and then, title credits. And it's ambiguous as to what happens to him, but the point of the movie is he's gone on this kind of journey, and he's accepted whatever will happen to him. And so we don't know, Gawain doesn't know when the movie ends whether or not he's going to die. But that's okay, because he's accepted the knightly virtue of, like, he's done the right thing.
Because in contrast to the original story...
Yes, in the original story, it's different.
He basically, it's this series of, like, small little side stories throughout the film, which he fucks up all of them.
Yes.
He's useless. Dev Patel's a bad knight. He hangs out at the brothel all day. It's kind of implied that he spent the whole year, like, after the game, just sort of boozing it up in the pub.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the only thing we see him do after the game in that year is go to the pub.
With his boys.
Yeah.
And then beat up guys in the pub. Every time someone's like, "Will you express a knightly virtue?" He's like, "No, thanks."
So just to run through those, he doesn't pay
Barry
Keoghan for his time. He then just sort of invades the home of Saint Winifred, actually, who's not in the
Yes.
poem.
He doesn't.
True, I forgot it's her.
Yeah,
Saint
it's a true
Winifred,
story.
and he does, like, get her head out of a lake.
Yeah.
But, like, before that, he does, like, do a home invasion.
Yeah.
Sleep in her bed.
And then when she's like, "Will you get me head back?" He's like, "What's in it for me?"
yeah,
Yeah,
he's such a shit.
He sucks.
He's like, "Why do you need your head back?" So he's like, "Will I get money?"
Yeah, he gets robbed by, like, level 1 style bandits, like, with Barry Keoghan.
First D&D encounter.
Yeah.
And he gets destroyed.
He gets his shit rocked. There's this great scene before he sets out where he's getting all this cool equipment. It's being blessed by priests.
Yeah.
Also, his mom is, like... His mother's Morgana Le
His
Fay.
mother initiates all of this as a test for him to prove that he's a good knight, which he then fails,
Yeah.
which I really like.
He's a fail son.
Yeah.
Yeah, different from... Yeah, he's basically Mordred and also Sir Gawain. They've, like, combined those two roles for the film. But yeah, he has this cool equipment scene. They give him, like, a great shield with all this icon on the inside. And yeah, then he gets robbed by bandits who rob all his shit and break the shield in half.
After another great scene after he helps St. Winifred reluctantly, he sees some giants, and they sing,
and they nearly clobber him.
Yeah, until a fox helps him, who maybe is his mom.
The fox is definitely his mom.
And then eventually he ends up in this castle where, the wife looks like his prostitute girlfriend. And they have an exchange. He agrees with the Lord. They will have an exchange of winnings.
An exchange of wives.
Yeah. Well, where he says, the Lord says, "Well, I'm going to go hunting, and anything that I bring to you, I will give to you. Everything that I win, I will bring to you. Whatever you receive in the castle, you should give to me."
In the original story, he gets kisses each day.
In this
one, resists the temptation because the Lord's wife really wants to bang him the whole time, but he courtly demurs and gets hunting game out of it, and then kisses the Lord. It's all very classic Arthurian business. In the film,
he
has sex
with her
and gets a cool green sash,
which he then comes on.
Literally immediately he's like, oh damn, I've been tempted.
And then there's a great scene where the Lord is like, "And what have you received today that you could give to me?" And then he goes to face the Green Knight.
He gets a big
and
kiss
chickens out the first time.
Yeah,
he's like, he has a vision of himself riding back, becoming Arthur's heir, and then it all goes horribly pear-shaped, and then it flashes back to.
Importantly, he's wearing the green sash that entire time.
The green sash of immortality.
Yeah,
and the lesson being, if you fear death and run from it, you'll never kind of achieve greatness. You'll always be a failure. Whereas if you are willing to accept your own the inevitability of your own death, you can become a true knight.
I don't even know if it's about greatness. I think it's just about life.
Yeah.
And this is the key contrast to the original story, where Sir Gawain is honest, he is true, he gives everything that he receives at the Lord's household, except for the green sash, for which he receives a tiny nick on the back of his neck, because it's understandable that despite all your promises of knightly virtue, to want to preserve one's life, and also it's about these contrasting drives. He makes an oath to the wife to take it. She says, "Please save your life, do this for me." And he's caught between these competing lines, but he does keep the green sash, so he does still fear death. Whereas in the film, the key moment is Gawain taking the green sash off. And saying, "I will die."
Yes.
Looking that in the eye and accepting that.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
At which point his arc is done.
Yeah.
And it's fine for us not to know what the actual outcome is, because either way he's achieved the apotheosis of
actualization.
True virtue.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that.
I think that there's another thing that I really wanted to talk about with the movie is anachronism. Because I think there's a very, very, very interesting thing going on here, which is I moan about Braveheart being anachronistic, but that is because that is an attempt to reasonably accurately depict a real thing that happened, right? And it presents itself as a version of a real event.
And because it's perniciously packaging in its own weird agenda.
Yeah.
Its own weird contemporary agenda.
Yeah.
Whereas nothing in The Green Knight is attempting to be historically accurate. So obviously, and that is, I think, actually a very smart kind of understanding of something that's very crucial to the Arthurian kind of canon, which is that it is deeply, deeply anachronistic. Because Arthur... One day we'll do an episode about, does King Arthur exist? Because the answer is definitely no. But if King Arthur was a guy...
I'm a King Arthur truther,
If he was based on anybody, he was based on a sort of early post-Roman warlord in... Brittonic warlord specifically, so pre-Welsh... Celtic warlord in 5th century Britain. And what is the very, 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 calling back to a previous episode, what is the very first thing that you see in The Green Knight? You see the opening credits, which are in a Gothic font. They're in Fraktura. Point being, it is very specifically situating it in sort of later medieval period, right? And But then that's also, and the costumes and the set design is all intended to evoke later medieval period when people would have been writing and talking about King Arthur and that was like a story that really mattered to people. But also the movie then calls attention to the fact that the actual story is set much earlier, because there are lots of... There's one line in particular where... there's a reference. Arthur says, you've made peace with our Saxon brethren. Very deliberately sort of calling attention to the fact that this is happening in the wrong time. And I think that that's another reason why one of the other conspicuous things about the movie is that both Dev Patel is not white. He doesn't, and Morgan Le Fay is also, I don't know the name of the actress actually, but is also played by a non-white actress. And I think that kind of like those kinds of anachronisms they help the movie kind of actualize as like this is drawing attention to the fact that this is an adaptation. The first thing the movie says is this is a filmed adaptation of the Green Knight.
I think it just says fuck it, we're gonna like make a cool film off this folklore.
Yeah,
I think it does a good job of capturing the kind of like psychedelic and also like very sexual nature of like most Arthurian legends, and I really like that. I think the kind of eclecticness helps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not trying to be accurate to any particular time.
Yeah,
it's about capturing trying to do a spin on the story.
It's a story in the first place,
Yeah, and it's also not trying to be a definitive adaptation as well.
Well, I think this is like there are also no definitive like version of any of the Arthurian tales, and they all evolved over quite a long period of time. So
it's interesting to add to that canon, really.
Yeah,
and like do this modern adaptation, which then approaches all these ideals in a slightly different way. And have, so Gawain is supposed to be like this knight who's like quite virtuous but torn between these competing demands. Be a knight who kind of sucks at it.
Yeah.
But then maybe accepts death at the end. And that still having value, And like is brave at the moment where it counts.
He is like a true sort of like Gen Z version of the like Sir Gawain, like he's like a failed son who needs his mom there for like all of his important life tasks.
He has like still living in his mom's house.
Yeah, this
Truly,
is a movie about moving out of your mom's house
and then fucking it up the whole way.
Yeah.
Immediately getting scammed by Barry Keoghan.
I think everyone met. It's a movie about going to uni because everyone met a Barry Keoghan type in their first year
Oh
at
my
uni.
god, yeah. Him and his furry friends. Their stupid little hood. Everyone thinks he's cool because he makes big speeches that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Then he runs off. So I just want to say this is genuine. I think it's a great film.
I
love
really like
Ariana, and like it's a brilliant adaptation of it that like you could easily just rotely play out the story, but actually like making him a fuck up is great. It feels really in the spirit of like these stories that anybody can pick up and write their own version. That's what's great about it as well. It's not owned by anybody.
Yeah,
like why you can bring your own ideas. His girlfriend / what's his name wife in the castle has this great speech about the green.
Why is because there's a question of like why is the Green Knight green?
Yeah, and what that represents, and a big part of that is how nature will outlast us all. How everything will be gone at some point, and we will all sort of die and rot and return to... It's something you have to fight against constantly. It reminds me of, and this might not be entirely relevant, but the ants in 100 Years of Solitude, in that maintaining civilization is this constant fight against this nature that will just come up out the cracks and will always be working. And, she talks about moss.
Yeah.
And, like, importantly, the Green Knight is in the Green Chapel. In the original story, it's like a grotto. But in this, it is an old chapel. It's a ruined chapel that has been completely overgrown, and has returned to nature. Like, it's that how living in this, like, sort of tidy, cleaned up world is this constant fight against, like, what naturally happens and what naturally occurs and how much work that takes. And is it even worth it, Because, like, we all end up in the same place.
And so I mentioned earlier the speech that Arthur has before the Christmas game where he talks about our Saxon brethren. The other thing he mentions is he talks about a land shaped by your hands. And one of the things that you see when Gawain kind of leaves Camelot, he leaves the like the world of like men. And he enters the wilderness, basically.
Oh, and there's so many good shots of like, the wilderness shots in this movie.
Fantastic,
Beautiful.
wilderness.
I want to go to the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks.
I wanna
He's having a
walk in the
terrible time,
rain
but it
with
makes
a
me want to
fox.
be there.
Yeah, I want to hang out with foxes.
Big
I wanna hang out
giants,
with a fox
big
so
naked giants.
badly.
Yeah,
That go. Oh.
go on some heathland.
I love that I love that giant's call.
Yeah,
so much. It sounds so terrifying and haunting, but also like beautiful.
And it's an interesting contrast, I think, with like, the Northman, where there is this like blurring of the line between man and beast, and it's kind of about like the danger of walking this line, like you might lose yourself. Whereas I like that this film is like, no, lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
Become one with the nature. Kick it with a giant.
Mom spaghetti.
To sit next to a stream.
It's almost in the Northman. It's a decision to either like be a man or a human, and like decide to live in a certain way that's restrained and proper. And that's like a very specific idea of nature, whereas like a beast is just a devolved version of man. It's like a regression. Whereas in the Green Knight, nature is just like this completely separate thing. You're not exactly a part of it, and actually like it's there's something I got to grasp here. But do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's
sorry, you go ahead.
It's very primordial, I think. Like, it's very powerful in ways that like we can't understand and like are not fully sort of party to, and they capture like both the danger and the kind of a bit of magic in there as well. I think.
Yeah, it's not something you can just move between.
Yeah.
And you can't harness it.
Yeah.
Instead, it's something that you exist around and fight against, and will one day return to.
And what is the very last image of the film? It is the title card, which is the words "The Green Knight," which is then swallowed up by moss.
It's cool. I also think it's like, I don't know, I was thinking like, am I reading into this too much? But it's also because he gets the axe from the Green Knight, right? And I think that also, like, the axe as the kind of like wood cutting, like the tool that you would be using to like fight against nature. I don't know. There's something there. Maybe
it haunts him throughout the film.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's also a sign of his like doom.
Yeah,
and his obligation.
It's both
that
the
follows
woodsman's
him.
axe and the executioner's axe.
Yeah. Ooh. What if the executioner was wood?
Well, yeah, and this is why the choice to make
usually man chop wood, but what if wood chop man?
How much wood could a wood chop if a
Man
wood
chop.
chop could? How much man could a wood chop if a
Why do they call it
wood could chop?
Why do they call it a Green Knight? One of in the green moss, of out colds eat the moss.
But that's why the decision to turn the Green Knight from a guy who is green to very explicitly being the Green Man, who, I mean, people are going to argue about what the Green Man as a like visual motif in like British architecture means till the cows come home.
He's Rory Kinnear.
He is Rory Kinnear in that other movie, but what he does kind of represent more than anything else, I think, is just like the idea of nature.
Yeah.
What if a man was made out of wood?
Yeah.
Whereas in the original story, the Green Knight is simply like placed under a curse by Morgana the Fae, and is the lord of the castle that he stays in.
Yeah.
And it has all been this grand test. Whereas in this film, it's something that spirals beyond Morgana le Fay's control. Like, she wants this to be a test of her son to make him go out into the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then she demands that he turns away at the end.
Yeah.
She's like, don't go and actually get your head chopped off. You can't handle this.
There's a really I really like this movie. One of the interesting scenes that happens before he sets out is like he has two conversations about what he's about to do. One with Morgana and one with Arthur and Guinevere. And Arthur and Guinevere understand that they're in a medieval story.
Also
where
great-
it's like, this is a clockwork universe. You set this in motion. You need to just fulfill your part of the prophecy now. Whereas Morgana's like, no. No, wait. I brought this guy here.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to him. Listen to me.
Also, great casting on Arthur and Guinevere. They're
Really
both
good.
quite sickly.
Yeah.
They're both like they're on the telly a lot.
Yeah.
But they're not like this traditional sort of like virile, strong sort of like couple. They're both very. It feels like, and this is a thing that reoccurs, like the later part of the Arthurian canon, where things are in the decline.
Yeah.
Which is the good bit. In my
Yeah, it
opinion.
is the exciting bit.
But yeah, Green Knight. I would give it 4.5 knightly virtues out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going in the ground eventually. Watch this film before you do.
It's good.
I would pay the one tiny penny to see it.
Give your smallest coin to Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, I would give my smallest coin to Barry Keoghan.
The smallest man.
Who will then rob you in the cinema?
Rob me blind.
You have to give me your smallest. You got to give me bigger.
Will you give me something? It's my advice, not worth anything.
Never in danger, waileth our fathers, free and undaunted, they sought our renown.
Maybe I should stop talking about the inevitability of death. Because don't worry, as long as you go on a crusade and have your sins remissed, you'll be going to heaven, baby.
The kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven.
God, I'm naturals at this. This is going so good.
We go from Dev Patel, who is incredibly handsome and a great actor, to Orlando Bloom, who is incredibly handsome.
Yeah, and he lives in a hovel.
It's the return of the shitty mud huts.
Yeah.
No, this is not a mud hut. This is a straw hut. My observation
Little-
during
little
this
pig
movie,
straw hut.
yeah, he lives in the house built by the first little pig.
Yep.
So we open on Orlando Bloom. He's the world's worst blacksmith.
He's smithing really badly.
His wife has killed herself because their child died, I think.
He does not look like he knows how to hold a hammer. Michael Sheen is stealing from his dead wife.
There's like
Yeah.
no calluses on his hands. It's like, you never worked a day in your life,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
My hands look like this.
Your hands don't like glisten with like 100 burns.
Yeah.
God is in his like Pablo Picasso blue era.
Oh, it's so blue. It's the bluest France you've ever seen.
Yeah. That's all set up for when we're going to see Orange later.
Because the year is 1100 and something.
1180 something.
1180 something.
Yeah.
And it's time for Crusades.
It's time for Crusades. Liam Neeson arrives and is like, "You're my son. Do you want to come on crusade with me?" And he says no. And then he kills Michael Sheen and realizes that he has to leave.
You're my son, and he says, "My place is here by the forge."
And then he immediately, at the first opportunity, makes it impossible for him to stay at the forge by killing the local priest.
He stabs him and then he throws him in the forge.
Yeah.
And he
Stabs
throws
him
And sets
out.
it, which then sets his entire house and
Yes,
forge
but to
on
be
fire.
fair, he can't really stay.
He stabs him with a hot sword. It's great.
It is fun. Yeah.
Michael Sheen is like such a great squirmy little priest.
He's
Yeah.
so underused in this movie. He has like one
Yeah.
scene.
He's like, "Good luck for your wife in hell, idiot."
They should have cast him as Baldwin.
Oh, he would have been a good Baldwin.
Anyway, so then he's like, "Okay, I am going to go on crusade." So this is actually a very easy movie to summarize.
Yeah.
He links up with Liam Neeson. They go to the Middle East. They go to Jerusalem.
He dies.
Liam Neeson dies. Orlando Bloom inherits a short, sort of a few like kilometers of desert.
They tell him that your dad owned a few acres in the desert, and he's like, "Oh, Accra."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No."
He sort of gets conned.
He owns one palm tree, and he decides to set up a plurinational.
Well,
like-
no, because the thing is Liam Neeson is woke.
Yes, Liam Neeson is woke, and he arrives in Jerusalem under the rule of King Baldwin, who is played by Edward Norton behind a mask.
Amazingly,
Really good,
Yeah.
best part of the movie.
dude is in a mask and is acting.
And
Somehow.
we're gonna talk more about like King, the weird cultural afterlife of this movie and King Baldwin in a minute. But like, he meets with King Baldwin, and he finds out there's two parties in Jerusalem. there's the King Baldwin camp who want to sort of coexist with the Muslims, and
They've got those. They've all got those coexist letters on the back of their horses.
in this house we believe that Muhammad, that
people
Jesus
were
was a Muslim
created
prophet.
by a evil scientist named Yakub.
And they're the cool Hospitalers.
Yes.
Opposite the Templars.
Brendan Gleeson arrived.
Brendan Gleeson is here.
and he's having fun this time.
He's acting.
His beard is like they didn't have enough beard dye to dye his whole beard.
What I love is the fact that over the course of these movies, we will get progressively more ginger men. We're about to arrive at the most ginger man ever put to film.
That's true.
We're not there yet. So Orlando Bloom throws his lot in with the Hospitaliers who want to coexist with the Muslims, and then King Baldwin dies. The truce with Saladin, who is here also, falls apart, and there is a siege of Jerusalem.
Well, don't worry, all the Christians don't worry, God's on our side. We're gonna rock their shit.
Well,
and then they get their shit rocked.
yeah. Did I mention that this movie was released in 2005? and then so there's a siege of Jerusalem. Jerusalem falls. The Christians are allowed to leave. Saladin is cool with all this, and Orlando Bloom goes back to his ruined forge, and he's like, "Well, that happened, I guess."
And he meets Richard Lionheart.
Richard Lionheart's
Richard
there.
the Lionheart is like, "Say, son, you ever heard of crusading?"
And he's like, "No."
And Orlando Bloom is like, "Mate, don't get me started."
Not for me. I had to go at it, and all I got was this wife.
Yeah.
Who I love.
I went to the Holy Land, and all I got was this stupid
All I got was
wife.
Eva Green, the first white woman to say Inshallah.
The wife of the sister of the King of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, where to start with this movie?
First of all, I think the visuals are very impressive.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of, again, I think we talked about this CGI that is not fully sort of convincing, and that it's this is obviously CGI, but I think that in some ways the sort of obviousness of it creates this, extremely dramatic, heightened reality sort
100%.
of comic book effect that makes everything feel extremely existential. It almost harkens to, biblical and medieval stories where they're and then 10,000 times 1 million times 500,000 men met on a battlefield, and it was crazy.
Yeah, no, it's really, it is, you can kind of, track the evolution of, epic filmmaking before and after Lord of the Rings by looking at Braveheart and then Kingdom of Heaven. Because Kingdom of Heaven is released after the massive software sort of goes live, where you can use AIs to simulate enormous armies, so you can have these absurd, over-the-top medieval descriptions of battles. You can do them for real. It can't just be, or it doesn't have to just be 200 guys in a field, which is one of the things that Braveheart just gives Braveheart a little bit of charm, but also holds back the scope of those battles.
Yeah.
Whereas here you can just have the siege of Jerusalem. You can do it.
Yeah.
And I
the
think
explosions, there's a lot of explosions.
There's a lot of
in a way that would
explosions.
not be pyrotechnically feasible.
no, and
It's very
nobody in this
hellfire.
era. I think we said at the time while we were watching it, nobody in this era has seen an explosion before.
No.
So they were quite calm about it. Oh, you can have the transition from blue France to Messina, where there's colour.
Yeah.
And the Middle East.
Yeah,
Where it
where
actually
there's
looks
more
nice
colour.
and colourful.
I think the best part of this movie is King Baldwin, right? He's Edward Norton. He has 2 scenes, and he's so good.
Yeah, he's acting the shit out of it.
He is running rings around Orlando Bloom in ways that aren't even funny.
When we were watching it, there was a great moment at the start where Liam Neeson is acting at Orlando Bloom.
Oh my god!
And then it cuts to Orlando Bloom's with a wooden plank.
He does his way. His facially he doesn't react. His reaction is just to sort of shake his head.
It's the first neck-only performance in a film.
David Thewlis. Oh, also, we haven't even talked about the fact that David Thewlis is here, and he bonks during a battle. He just bonks Orlando Bloom on the head,
Yeah,
while
I think
Orlando
that,
Bloom
to
is
be fair,
not.
explains why Orlando Bloom is suffering facial paralysis.
Well, it does sound like Orlando Bloom's skull is made entirely of metal.
Yeah.
Because his head clinks.
Yeah, and King Baldwin and his sort of faction articulate this kind of like idea of like, what if we could have a Middle East where people kind of like where all these different religions are allowed to coexist.
A kingdom of conscience.
A kingdom of conscience, yes. The Jews are implied, I guess. They're not mentioned. Which it is the year 2005. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I wonder why that message would have resonated with people in 2005. But what's so interesting about King Baldwin is if you've ever been on YouTube Shorts, you know that one of the biggest victims of the Sigma edits phenomenon is King Baldwin, where like people do like red pill edits of King Baldwin.
Yeah.
And he is the wokest character ever put in a medieval movie.
I was looking up lists of medieval movies in preparation for this show, and I found one on Twitter where someone had included in their list Kingdom of Heaven brackets King Baldwin scenes only.
He's so good.
He's great.
Compare and contrast the two lepers in these movies, him and Robert Bruce Sr., where leprosy is presented. Okay, the way that leprosy is presented, we're not to harken back to Braveheart because we did like 40 minutes on Braveheart, but the fact that the physical decay of Robert Bruce Sr.'s flesh is kind of like equated with the moral decay of him as a person, whereas here Baldwin, because again, Baldwin's a real guy. There was a king of Jerusalem called Baldwin who did suffer and die from leprosy when he was quite young. His leprosy is presented as like, this is the thing that has allowed him to kind of transcend a lot of the how do I put this? I'm butchering this.
He's kind of, in kind of medieval keeping with like not really being of this. The best thing that you can sort of be in like a medieval Christian perspective is like flesh detached from kind of like the physical natures and realities of existing.
It's mortification.
He's passing. He barely exists in this world. He's
Exactly.
only here for a short while. But while he's here, he is saintly almost.
He's going to do the right thing.
But saintly in this like very secular and humanist way.
Yeah.
That runs through the whole film of like, you've never seen more crusaders who aren't really Christian.
Yes. There's a whole scene where David Thewlis is like, well, I don't really believe in God. I'm like, why are you here?
He literally says like, I don't really
You're
care
wearing
about
a cross.
yeah.
He literally says, I don't care about religion.
Dressed as a knight hospitaller with a huge cross on his chest.
And there's also the issue that like the landscape of the Levant that we see outside of Jerusalem, it truly is just not like that. That is not what that part of the world looks like.
It's like a wasteland.
Yeah, it's like one
Sahara
palm tree.
desert.
And there's a whole scene where Orlando Bloom is like, what if we brought irrigation to these people? And it's like, they've been living here for thousands
That
of years.
part
I think
is
they
crazy.
know.
That is
Yeah.
like a weird like white savior
Yes.
interlude of the film because he has to be the Count of Ibleen for a bit.
Yeah, he has like like all good movies, there's a farming interlude before the violence resumes.
A farming minigame.
Yeah.
Spam X to irrigate. He's doing the fishing mini game. Loads of little Middle Eastern children are running after him and praising him the whole
No,
time.
exactly.
But it doesn't.
And
Really...
there's a lot of the subtitles are speaks Arabic.
Yeah.
Like half of the movie is speaks Arabic.
Yeah.
And Saladin is here and he's just aura farming.
Yeah, no,
He's just
He's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
You've got his Saladin's like backup guy who Orlando Bloom meets early on and impresses, so he gets to be spared.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say impregnate.
I wish. I think he's very.
Listen,
handsome man.
if only Dev Patel, if only
movie on the brain.
if only Gawain had kept up with his side of the exchange of winnings,
Oh my
and we
God.
would have gotten Dev
Preg.
Patel. Dev
Medieval
Patel.
pregnancy.
Oh
Preg.
my god, it's getting cursed.
We have to finish this section. Okay, so
I need to talk about how it's Alexander Siddig
oh my god,
is the actor. He's Saladin's like second in command.
he's in stuff.
He's shockingly handsome.
What else is he
He's
in?
very rakishly handsome in this film, you know. He's
Yeah.
like I like your horse.
Yeah.
And then he pops up again, and he's like, because he gets the horse, and then he pops up at the end, and he's like, it wasn't such a good horse, actually.
Yeah, this horse sucks.
Can I return the horse?
Here's another thing that I like about this movie. It's not actually that Orientalist. It's a little bit.
It's dabbling. Come on.
It dabbles, but like there's very little there's the Muslims in the movie and the people who, like Eva Green, who have kind of like assimilated a little bit, are not presented in this like super exoticized way. They have the same motivations as the Christians.
I guess it's like they're more of a sideshow.
Yes, that is
When
true.
you think about it, it's speak Arabic guys in
Yes.
his like county who
Yeah.
like sort of worship him because he's not a massive racist.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's like an even playing field here.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not to get too woke with it. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely an element of like, although these people may live like mean and humble existences, like, you know, and
They're
not
actually-
know about irrigation in other ways, you know, need to be taught about irrigation by a blacksmith from Poitiers or whatever.
Yeah, this guy who knows how to do everything for seemingly no reason other than he's the protagonist.
Yeah, but I think again, like, this is also, yeah, it's not strictly Orientalist.
No, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's vaguely patronizing.
It's patronizing, I think, in the way that like most films about the Middle Ages are patronizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the vast majority of the people portrayed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we could all just be peaceful if it wasn't for these few religious fanatics.
Well, that's the thing, is that, yeah, it basically says, you know, if Baldwin had lived a little bit longer, we would have had peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
under a Crusader kingdom.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too much.
Well, okay, let's briefly engage with that, which is that obviously the Crusader kingdoms are set up, and obviously there were non-Christians living in the Crusader kingdoms, but the Crusader kingdoms are set up with acts of, and they begin with acts of such horrifying violence they can't even really be described in non-kind of like hyperbolic terms. They show up and they kill as many people as they can as fast as possible.
It's described as wading in blood up to their knees.
Yeah.
By the guys who did it as well.
Yeah, and they're like, and that was good that we did that.
No, they're probably, I think they're a bit like, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have
No,
done
but
that.
God wanted me to do that.
Yeah. but-
And the idea that the Crusaders are not motivated by religion, and that like there was we so nearly had like a woke Crusader state, and like meanwhile, like even in the Crusader,
Crusades wokely.
not to get into like the politics of it too much, but like there's a huge divide in the Crusader states between the Frankish, or the as they're called, the Franks, so like the Western Christians who settle in the Middle East, and then like the quote unquote indigenous like Christians who were already there living under Muslim rule, who are mostly Greek Orthodox or like Coptic or so on, who are discriminated against by the Franks.
Yeah, they hate those guys.
Yeah.
Because they don't get them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they trust the Muslims more.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, I know you're different from me, but you're a Christian, but you wear linen? What the fuck's up with that, man? You're supposed to, like, get incredibly sunburnt and die of dehydration constantly.
Yeah, like, constantly. Dying of dehydration for the 5th time this week.
Yeah. And then after 20 years of living in the Middle East, the next round of Crusaders show up and they fucking hate the guys who've settled there because they've, like...
Well, that, to be fair, is they do that with, like, the Eva Green character.
Yeah,
which is, she is not just walking around with 5 layers of wool. She's actually
Like
dressing
everybody
appropriately
else.
for the weather.
Everyone looks so sweaty.
If anything, not as sweaty as they should be.
Anyways, okay, so the final, to hammer home the politics of the film, because you're finishing this and there's been like 5 billion people that have said, you know, the Muslims, they're just like us, so we should all try to coexist, even if some of them do mad shit. And then they fade to black, and the final title card of the final text card flashes up that says something to the effect of, and believe it or not, there's still conflict in the Middle East to this day.
I wonder why there was conflict in the Middle East in 2005.
Damn, I give it 4th Crusade out of however many there were.
I give it 1 out of 4 points on the compass.
Yeah,
East.
The fight scenes are kind of dull. It's long, but there's a lot of money in it.
The time passes a lot faster than Braveheart.
Folks, it's better than Braveheart.
Yeah.
One of the worst movies ever made. Best Picture.
Best picture.
Incredible. Yeah, folks, it's fine.
Folks, it's fine, but the combat scenes were not that interesting.
Yeah,
There were not enough of them.
I
Not enough was single man to man.
I like.
I liked the trebuchets.
I like the palm grove scene where he gets jumped by random guys for seemingly no reason.
Absolutely.
And, stabs a guy in the eye through the helmet.
That was
Yeah.
good.
That is cool, but aside from that, Siege of Jerusalem, whatever.
Ultimately, I was grateful to watch a film about a common man just like you or I, using his wits and his bravery to elevate himself to a position of greatness.
Yeah, and then going home
But,
and nothing really changing.
but snagging a baddie.
Snagging a baddie.
But I finished that movie and I thought, I wish there was another movie where this happens.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's why the final film we're talking about is Barry Lyndon.
Another film that ends with a great text card.
Oh, wow, that guy sucks.
To this day, the
This
best.
might not have happened, but if it had, if it did, it
would
would
be
have
sick.
sucked.
There was still Irish men trying to steal posh rich women to this day.
Huzzah.
Yeah,
A Knight's Tale.
His name is Barry Keoghan.
That's the theme of all that ties all these films together, is the perfidious Irish.
Yeah.
Truly.
Stealing Scottish valor in Braveheart. being
Beating up
stolen.
Dev Patel.
Beating up Dev Patel. Being stolen in the Northman.
It's Brendan Gleeson's fault that the war happens in
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Brendan Gleeson is a mad French Templar.
He's so good.
He's a
His
real
name
guy.
is Guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did cause those wars by killing one of Saladin's relatives and being a pirate.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest thing you can be as a Templar.
Yeah.
Is raiding in the Red Sea constantly.
Yeah.
And in the final film, A Knight's Tale, the Irish do not appear.
Sir not appearing in this film.
Finally. Instead we have Mark Addy as the signature oath.
Ah.
Let us then through ourselves where we are rolling on gentle Doran, we strike for a throne.
So Knight's Tale is based on
A true story.
a true story.
Based on something that happened to me one time.
This happened to my buddy Joe Mason.
This happened to my buddy Heath Ledger.
So he's
Wait, this happened to
so
my buddy, like, what, Arnold von Liechtenstein
Yeah.
or something?
Ulrich.
Oh, yeah,
It's
Ulrich
Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
so
The baddest motherfucker in Christendom.
truly. I want to talk about the pasta thing, but we're gonna have to talk about the movie first, or the plot of the movie first. So, it is based on the on A Knight's Tale from the Canterbury Tales, and by that I mean there are knights in it, and Geoffrey Chaucer appears.
Jeffrey Chaucer is a character.
And let me tell you, you see a lot of Geoffrey Chaucer.
He fully appears.
He
So
bears
Paul
his-
Bettany. So Paul, before the movie, Olivia was like, "Oh yeah, and there's a cameo."
I thought could have sworn it was a cameo.
He's briefly
where he's
appears.
like in the stands at the final scene and is like, I should write this down.
He does a sort of, I don't like this, but your kids will love it
Yeah,
when I write it.
exactly. But
Yeah.
what actually happens is he is like
In it.
kind of in some
All-
ways the main character.
Yeah, Paul Bettany is in it, and he's naked. He's Geoffrey Chaucer, and he's naked for an amazing reason. Actually, he's naked. He's naked for two entirely separate reasons at different points
No, it's
in
the
the movie.
same reason, but he still gets naked both times.
Yeah, true.
So Heath Ledger is like a squad. Okay, first of all, the first scene, because I was like, is this movie actually going to be as good as I remembered when I was 8?
It's so fun.
And the
great.
first scene is Heath Ledger as a squire with his other squire mates.
Mark Addy and
Robert Baratheon and the other guy.
Ginger fella.
The most ginger man ever put to film.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan
Yeah.
Tudyk. Yeah.
Alan Tudyk, and the knight has like who they serve, who's jousting, has died.
He's a bit. They think he's a bit sleepy.
I think he's a bit sleepy. It turns out he's died.
he's fucking
and
dead.
like Alan, Robert Baratheon, and Heath Ledger are having this conversation about what are we going to do. Well, Alan Tudyk is like beating the corpse, trying to get him to wake up.
Alan Tudyk, by the way,
background.
I want to talk about Alan Tudyk's the design of his character, because I think I said this while we were watching it. It is the most ginger man I've ever seen. If this character had an Irish accent, it would be the most offensive stereotype ever put to film.
He sort of plays a maniac.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's great.
Heath Ledger has white guy dreads. And
Everybody
the
in this movie
scruffiest
is good
beard.
and fun and weird. So
I
spoiler
wouldn't-
alert, we really like this movie.
But they're like, he has to finish the lists. You know, he's died midway through jousting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you have to do is joust one time, Heath Ledger. It doesn't matter if you lose.
Yeah.
Just show up and we'll win.
Yeah.
Because our Lord's dead. We're his, like...
We're his boys.
We're his 50-year-old squire.
Yeah.
Sort of failure to launch a Mark Addy. So, of course, he dons Ulrich von Liechtenstein's plate, gets jousted full on in the head, gets his shit rocked, and wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he's like, damn, I
This
guess
was good.
I'll keep jousting.
There's also a hot princess who dresses like it's 2005 because it
Amazing.
is.
Yeah. Sick fits.
Yeah.
They also they have a Scottish blacksmith lady.
Yeah, she's cool as
She's
hell.
really cool.
It's cool. They get modern needle drops.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So the first needle drop, it is "We Will Rock You," and it is performed by the crowd at a joust by clapping.
Yeah, because they're all, and they do these like close-up shots of like the guards are like pounding on their chests and like thumping their spears.
It's so cool.
It's amazing, and like there's like a woman who's like just breaking it down crazy style with pictures, and other guys are like, woo!
Oh, there's like 6 topless blokes in a stand
Yes.
who are all like bouncing off each
And
other.
throwing pints at each other.
And if you're
And
thinking to
waving
yourself,
their chicken legs.
if you recently watched, we didn't. Sorry, to return to chicken legs. I want to talk about the big crab from Kingdom of Heaven. There's a scene where
also
Orlando
eats a whole
Bloom
crab.
eats the biggest
he-
crab you've ever seen.
He goes to Messina, is given an entire crab to eat.
It's not commented on in the movie. I just really like it.
Anyways,
Anyway, returning
there's
to
children with like face paint.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
it's like being at the footy.
It is.
Yeah.
You support your local team /night.
Which is your landlord. I really like this
The
movie.
ladies are like politely clapping along to the song. It's
What a
great.
film.
I don't have as much to say about
And then
this
the-
movie because it was 2 a.m. and I was falling asleep at various points.
Okay, we can make up for it. He jousts one time, he's like, damn, I could do this for real. Training montage. He puts some lances through hoops.
The training montage is hilarious.
He rides a boat to learn how to joust.
Yes.
He gets hit by the stupid spin round machine.
Can we talk? I love the spin round machine. Can we talk about the pasta thing?
Oh.
No, but first we have to
plot
talk about
synopsis.
Chaucer.
Plot synopsis. Just know there's a pasta thing coming.
They do that.
First, oh yeah.
Learns to joust.
I didn't even care that much about the synopsis on this one, to be fair. I just want to talk about
Hey, have you seen A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? It's that, but he's smaller.
They meet Chaucer on the road. He's like, I'll fake some documents for you. Also, I'm naked.
Yes.
And then he wins the
'Cause he
heart
has
of a...
gambling problems.
He has gambling problems.
And he's like extremely manic Paul Bettany.
I
Paul
love
Bettany
it. It's
at
an
his
amazing
best, I
performance.
think.
Yeah. He's acting
He's
his
like
ass off.
extremely wiry and manic and keeps like gambling his clothing away. And eventually like they set him on the straight and narrow, and Geoffrey Chaucer is like, yeah, I'll forge your documents for you so you can joust.
And there's an evil jock knight.
Yes.
Who is rich, and that's how you know he's evil, and he outjousts him.
Can we talk about the ferry to France?
Wait, first we have to talk about the lances.
God damn it! I thought we needed to do.
So there's a lot of jousting scenes in this
Yeah.
film about jousting.
And they developed purpose-built jousting technology.
By which they filled a bunch. They had a bunch of hollow lances that they filled with uncooked pasta. So that
It's
would
linguine.
splinter.
It's linguine specifically.
It's so good.
And I read this and I remarked on it halfway through the movie, and after that you just can't help but
You
notice.
just see pasta everywhere.
Every lance is filled with pieces of balsa wood from the craft store and like snapped up linguine.
But it works.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
so dramatic.
It's so every time they break, it's so satisfying.
Because they would apparently like score the lances with knives to make them break in like predetermined ways, which is great.
that's how you know you're doing good, is if your lance breaks. Is you clobbered the other fella. And in real life, we can't hit a guy with a lance because it might fuck his shit up.
Do you remember the part where Joe, it was towards the end of the movie, and you were like, I wonder if there's going to be another needle drop, and then 10 seconds later, you hear the clarion call of the opening notes of The Boys Are Back in Town?
Yeah.
Because the whole time they're
Because the boys are back!
the whole time they're in France, because Heath Ledger's dad is like, change the stars, follow your dreams, my
Yeah.
shitty blacksmith son. He goes
good
blind.
movie.
There's a great moment where Heath Ledger reunites with his
That
dad.
was quite sweet, yeah.
That was really
Yeah,
nice.
and then he's like, I'm proud of you. He followed your dreams.
Yeah.
And then he watches him joust blindly.
I hadn't even clocked that! He's got the audio description.
yeah.
Well, he does because he's with the baddie.
Yeah. He was like, your son's eating shit right now. the villainous knight is rocking his... It's just a great film. There's dancing.
Yes, they dance to "Golden Years" by David Bowie,
Yes!
which is great, and he mogs he mogs the Jock Knight by dancing too well.
Well, by like opening his heart in a way that
Yeah.
only like a
true
poor man
knight could.
Yeah, he's not reserved. He doesn't have courtly manners.
Yeah.
He shows those stuffy Dean what for.
No, exactly.
It's so good. And I think that I said this after we finished the movie, but like,
Well, you mainly said honk shoe, honk shoe.
Me.
I fell asleep. And oh yeah, what did I say? Oh yeah, I feel like of the movies that we've talked about in this episode, this is the one that I feel like if you showed it to a medieval person, obviously with Middle English subtitles, it's the one that they would respond to the most.
Yeah.
It's like, huzzah! A thrilling tale of the upstart, low-born man who wins with his wits and outsmarts
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
smug dickheads.
Yeah, shows knightly virtue.
He shows knightly virtue.
Everyone loves him. I've seen jousting. Jousting rocks.
Yeah.
There's all the... it's you just want to see two horses run straight at each other.
and crash.
And crash and hopefully have less dramatic injuries than actual real jousting, which killed so many kings of France.
Yeah. No, it's great, and I mean, it's not a high budget movie, and so and in this case, it works so well in the movie's favor because they are just like chucking guys off of horses, and like there's like a guy who falls through a wooden fence, and like
great.
Yeah, Heath Ledger's like performs amazingly. He's like such a great romantic lead.
yeah,
There's
it
actually
really is.
possibly for the first time in one of these films romantic chemistry.
Yeah, it's quite.
Let me just do a quick. I feel like there was some chemistry between Dev Patel and Alicia Vikander, but other than that,
Okay, yeah.
nobody's really got anything.
Alexander
going on.
Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy.
No, they just have sex in a sad Scandinavian way.
It's
That's not
definitely a
chemistry.
there's not much else on.
There's nothing else to do, so you may as well have sex in this incredibly murky pool.
What are we gonna do in Iceland?
It's like how in high school your two hottest friends in your friend group would get together out of like a sense of obligation. The two hottest thralls on the farmstead are always going to have sex with each other.
Lock in.
We are locked in.
We're locked into the wrong movie.
No, it's fine. We're
This
doing
is
a
the synthesis.
yeah, we're doing
Okay.
a review of them all, and that's what Knight's Tale has. It
Okay,
has
go ahead.
amazing 2000s haircuts.
Oh
Yeah.
God. It's look as a historical document, or even just like an adaptation of Chaucer. It is utter nonsense. It's nothing. But I like it and I had fun.
It's good ass film.
And this is what
I was actively falling asleep and I liked it.
this is what medieval people would do to their own stories. They would be like, and of course they're gonna wear clothes. This may have been said in the past, but they were gonna wear clothes that look like ours.
Yes, it's like using Gothic fonts and 14th century clothes in the Green Knight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's like looking at all those paintings of Golgotha, where all the Romans are dressed up in plate mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think Olivia, you mentioned a really great quote from the the guy who scored the movie, which is just like, yeah, if we used an orchestral score, that wouldn't be less anachronistic than just putting pop music in it.
Yeah.
So why not?
It's cool. They should make more films like this.
But I think that it's absolutely true that medieval people were not afraid of anachronism. They were not afraid of recontextualizing stories to fit their current. Look at any depiction of King Arthur or Julius Caesar in a medieval manuscript, and they're all wearing full plate.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
All right.
Films are good.
Movies are good. Movies are back, they say. And if we didn't talk about your favorite medieval movie, it's because we don't respect it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not, because it's actually very time-consuming to watch 5 movies in preparation.
But you know what you should do?
podcast.
Is forget all of these movies and watch Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
That shit does rock. God, I want to be a rake. I want to progress.
Watch Barry Lyndon, watch Amadeus.
The
That's
rake's
another
progress. The rake is making good progress.
Me when I'm gardening.
Honoring thyself, who can refuse us? No Norman warrior would shun jeopardy.
All right. Synthesis. What did we learn, Palmer?
It's hard to make a good medieval movie
Yeah.
because we're really making movies about ourselves.
There's a lot of different approaches, but I think, it's just, bring your own shit to it. Don't feel obliged to be realistic or authentic, but don't make a film about Christian nationalism.
Yeah. Bring your own shit to it unless your own shit is bad. In which case, maybe just try adapting what's already there.
Unless you're Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
he's an evil man.
Yep.
Parody in Minecraft.
No, can you say someone's evil? Is that liable?
I don't know.
I'm worried he might kill me more than
There's no way to prove it, but there's no way to disprove it.
Yeah. Because that's like a statement. That's like a judgment statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art is interesting, isn't it? We obviously stuck to, a set of quite modern, quite recent movies, but we would love to do something like this again and talk about medieval movies of a different era, because people have been making medieval movies as long as they've been making movies. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, what if I made you guys watch the silent film Robin Hood movie?
Oh my god.
That would rule.
What if we just watched all the Robin Hood movies?
We could do medieval literature book club.
Yeah.
By which I mean modern books about medieval shit.
Yeah.
Of which read some fucking Bernard Cromwell.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. Bernard Cromwell, whatever his name is.
What's his face? Anyway, and that's what we learned. Movies are good. Sometimes it's hard, but just try and make a good movie, because
A good
history
movie
is complicated.
I hope you like this high effort content.
A good movie.
I
is
feel
hard
like this
to
was high
find, and
effort.
a hard movie is good to find.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about going to do this for another episode of the Weird Medieval Guys podcast. If you've liked this episode and you want to see more of it, then please do leave a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. And you can also leave a Spotify comment. And if you do, Olivia might read it out on the show.
Which are they?
Okay. Yeah, before we go, ranking them.
Bottom.
Braveheart.
Braveheart, easy.
Next.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven, boring.
It's fine, but it just kind of doesn't grab me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough now.
The Northman?
I think it is the Northman,
Northman?
third, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's actually really cool, but it's very dour.
And then I think, you know what? Fuck it. Joint first for A Knight's Tale and The Green Knight.
Knight.
Because The Green Knight is a better movie, but it's just such a breath of fresh air. The Knight's Tale. It's so fun.
I love seeing all my guys.
It's objectively not as good.
Yeah,
but
the fact that it's a film, it's also a film about having a bunch of mates. And, like, I read that, like, they brought everyone to the set, like, a month in advance so they could all become mates for A Knight's Tale. And I feel like you can see it in their interactions.
They do seem like they've been hanging out.
Yeah. So yeah, back to reading out comments. I do just want to say that today we got a comment where people calling, once again, people 2 years later still calling me out for saying the potatoes didn't exist in Europe in the Middle Ages. I'm so glad that still has Jews.
You should post more.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
This is what keeps Aran alive.
Yeah.
He's on a big spud IV drip.
Yeah.
He's fueled by hate.
Thanks to Rach on our Cathedrals episode, who said, "Thank you for your tutorial on how to build a cathedral. Though I think I followed directions wrong, as now Victor Hugo is in my living room trying to convince me to commission 300 Gothic statues." Smoking the shit that makes me summon Victor Hugo to my living room directly.
All right.
Getting smoked out with Victor Hugo as we're assassinated by French nationalists.
All right. Until next time.
I was thinking of Emile Zola.
Cut.
Roll and great spirit, look down on our standards, beckon us onward to victory.
I did set my ass on fire recently. Did I tell you about that? I had a load of matches in my pocket on site to light someone's birthday cake, like safety matches. But
They weren't that safe.
Oh yeah, they weren't, because like I sat down on some sand and like
And then you moved your bum up and down.
no, and a load of white stuff like came up from what? No, I'm not explaining it wrong. We thought it was just like sand shooting up, but then we smelt the smoke. Because, like, you just imagine you sit down and a load of smoke comes out from between your crotch. And then we're like, what the hell's going on?
The weirdest lie I've ever heard.
No, this is... So, like, we smell smoke. We're like, oh, something's on fire. Maybe there's, like, chemicals in the sand or something. So I go to tell my supervisor, and as I'm doing it, I'm, like, checking my back pocket, and there's a hole burnt in my trousers.
What? But what did the match... How did the matches light?
Because they struck each other. So they struck the box. Because I'd sat on the box.
Inside...
No, they'd fallen out the box because I'd sat on it over a period of time. And then I sat down, and then they set on fire.
If this was Would I Lie to You,
yeah,
you would not. That would not get.
No, and then luckily I sat down on a load of sand because those trousers really burn, man.
And that's why I didn't do my homework.
I should never have bought these trousers made of film.
Cause they look so cool though.
They had pictures. They had pictures. Of Pokemon.
This is God's honest truth. I burnt a hole in my trousers.
This is going in after the credits. Just to be clear, this whole conversation.
There will be no credits.
Yeah.
The end credit scene.
The end credit. Oh, is this the
Two
mid
film
credit?
brains.
Yeah. But sometimes we put like a little like outtake at the end.
Yeah.
Haven't done it for a while because we don't do mistakes.